Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stand. It's the Manchester derby. It's Manchester City against Manchester United in this huge Manchester derby. I hope you're feeling excited. This is the one. We've got a little bit of early team news coming in for you. I'm sure many of you have seen it already. Not to be downhearted or surprised that we believe that Cristiano Ronaldo will start on the bench, which means that that we will probably start with the same team that played against Arsenal 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks since our last Premier League game. It's amazing how long it's taken, isn't it? But we're excited for this. We're hearing that Jack Grealish is starting for Man City as well. We're way past that zone of sort of saying that's good news, because ultimately, anything can happen in a game. I think we've got to keep our powder dry and focused on this. Whatever Ten Hag goes with, I'm happy to go with as well, and we'll wait and see how it all pans out. We're sponsored by Sneak on the stream, by the way. You should be able to see it on the screen coming up in a minute. The first 200 of you to use the code SneakBridge will get 10% off, and they've got a brand new red metal shaker out. So if you want to get 10% off, use the code SneakBridge through the link in the description or the scan. You can scan the QR code. Fastest fingers first, I suppose. But Rodri is apparently out as well. We await the team news with real interest, as I'm sure we do. I'm just really looking forward to this game. Am I nervous? I don't really get nervous. Sujai, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining and supporting the channel. I don't really get nervous. I think anything can happen in this game. It's been a long time coming. We've been waiting for 4 weeks, like I say. Respect on Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. They're a good side. We know that. Premier League champions at home. They're going to have high possession. When I think about, I think about that. When I think about those words, I think about Jamie Carragher, and he'll be sat there this afternoon, praying, waiting for Haaland to score a header so he can go, I told you, Martinez, he's a Bilbo Baggins. I told you he's not good enough. But when I think about this game, I think about evolution. I think about where we want to be, where we aren't yet. I think about Manchester City and Pep Guardiola and the way that team plays. They don't defend their penalty box and goal. They attack the halfway line. That's what their defenders do. That's a mindset. You think about Southgate, Mourinho, many other managers. Their centre-backs are there to defend the goal, defend the penalty box. Pep Guardiola's side, their centre-backs are there to push the attack back, to attack the halfway line, to push them back. So is Klopp with Liverpool. This is where Ten Hag wants to go. This is where Ten Hag was at Ajax. The principle was that the centre-backs are almost midfielders. And the reason a lot of Dutch sides have midfielders in their centre-back positions, and if you think about Daley Blind, is because they know about... scouting, they know about the centre circle, and that's where we want to be. But of course, we're not going to be that today. And I think it's really important to just drop that into your mind here. Whether you're a neutral or a United fan, we are at the start of a journey that we're nowhere near completing yet. We will not play the way that Ten Hag ideally wants us to play today. We've got to have a game plan against a team that's been, run very, very well for a decade. I mean, how many years has Pep been at Manchester City? 6, 7? We've got a manager who's not even been here 6 months yet. So we need to temper the expectation of no matter what happens today, even if we win. I mean, imagine if we beat Man City 3-0. Imagine what would happen. I think that's a very unlikely scoreline, but imagine if it did happen. People would be over the moon and talking about titles and stuff. And the reality is we're a long, long way from where we need to be. So we have got the team news, and it should be coming out any second now. I'm just waiting for somebody. People are telling me in the chat. So let's have a look. Manchester United, De Gea, Dalot, Martinez, Varane, Malacia, McTominay, Ericsson, Anthony, Fernandes, Sancho, Rashford. The bench has got Martial on it, Casemiro, Ronaldo, Lindelof, Fred, Shaw, Pellistri, Elanga. So Pellistri and Elanga on the bench. Interesting there. Tom Heaton on the bench. Dubravka's obviously got an injury. Man City's team news, Ederson, Walker, Aki, Akanji, Cancelo, Gundogan, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, Foden, Haaland and Grealish. There is no Rodri on the bench. There is a Diaz on the bench, Laporte on the bench, but he's going with Akanji and Aki, and obviously no Rodri involved with Grealish starting. Look, don't judge team news as by what they are, but there is the team news on the screen going round now. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this game pans out. But there's a couple of positives in there straight away. I don't know what you think about the team news, by the way. Can I just say, yes, Casemiro would have started for me. This is a massive game, and he's a massive big game player. But in essence, I refuse to moan about team selections under Ten Hag anyway, because I think eventually you get where you want to be anyway. You do get to the point where you want to see Rafael Varane in the team, and he ends up being in the team. And I think Casemiro will be in the team at some point. He had a choice to make, isn't he? To get Casemiro in the team, you've got to drop McTominay, which was never going to happen, or you've got to play with a false nine, which if Rashford and Martial is fit, you can't do that. So I've got no problem with that team. I would have liked to see Casemiro playing, but I completely understand why it's not happening. And actually, he's picking the team that started against Arsenal that won. So I know it's a month apart, 4 weeks, but, you know, I hate early afternoon games, hoping Martinez will keep track of Haaland to intercept his giant runs. Says Slow Sports News, and welcome to the Members Club Sujoy. If you want to be a member of the channel, by the way, click the join button in the chat. We've got exclusive content for you, and you get your little members badge in the chat that makes you stand out, and you support the channel. He started an Akanji and Ake because they are fast, so we can't counter, says Fiontan. It's intriguing. It's really, really intriguing, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Hello says, I really wished Casemiro would have started. Yes, I would have liked to see Casemiro start as well, but it is what it is. I'm not disappointed, and the reality is that bench is pretty strong. You've got Anthony Martial, Cristiano Ronaldo, Casemiro, so we've got good options. But I think the big news, picking Rashford then, wasn't just Ollie doing it, says Robert McCormack. Robert, give us a little bit more. I know there's always sarcasm in your comments. I don't know whether you think that's great or not. I can't remember what you think about Rashford as well. Donny must still have an issue. No Rodri makes me more confident about getting Rashford through down the middle, says Joshua. Yeah, interesting that Donny van de Beek's not on the bench. So, I mean, it's really interesting, actually. Welcome to the Members Club, Lars. Really, really interesting, actually, because if you'd said to me at the start of the week, and fair play to United, I hinted at this a couple of days ago, I think United kept it on the lowdown about Martial and Rashford's fitness. Rashford starting this game shows that he was way ahead of what was being put out there by United, so they've done a good job. But the rumour was that Donny van de Beek was further ahead, and he's not even on the bench, and Martial is. So Donny obviously clearly isn't, and would be on the bench instead of Pellistri. So he's obviously not quite ready yet. But that's a conversation for another day. I mean, I'd like to see Donny van de Beek starting on Thursday night, but maybe he's not going to be ready for that. Kaiser says, I'm getting butterflies, just an hour to kick off. I think we can hold them off for 10 minutes. We can win it. Yeah, I think the first half an hour for me, mate. The first half an hour for me is looking good. Can I just say as well, please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. We are on the road to 1.5 million. So subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the United Stand. It's free to do it. Link, the bottom right-hand corner has got the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel and get involved. And you're very welcome on the United Stand. Please share the video. Where on the pitch is the game going to be won, says Keane. I'm loving the questions that are coming in early on here. And no CDM for City. Last time that happened, they lost the Champions League final, says Daniel Kirk, who's been a member for 16 months. Well, I think the game will be won and lost in the midfield. Obviously, people will say, well, no, the game is won and lost on who concedes less goals and who scores more goals. But the midfield is where the game will be won and lost. You've got Gundogan, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, which for me is still the best midfield in the Premier League. Can I just say, the Gundogan, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva is still the best midfield in the league. But it's not as strong as having Rodri there to take the ball off the back four. So there is an opportunity there. McTominay, Eriksen and Bruno have got to have a good game today. I think Scott McTominay's had a good season. Today, he's got to have a good game. What he's done against Arsenal, Liverpool will mean nothing if he has a bad game today. He's got to have a good game today. Same with Eriksen, same with Bruno, because that's where the game will be won and lost. Defence, I'm confident. Let me remind myself who's playing in the front three for Manchester City. So it's Foden, Haaland, Grealish. I've got to be honest. I'm happier with that than I am if they're playing Mahrez or Bernardo Silva out wide. So I think that Dalot can deal with Grealish, and I think that Dalot can deal with Grealish, and I think that Malacia against Foden will be interesting. And then it's that Haaland against the centre-back scenario, isn't it? Sancho and Rashford are working out so far this season. I hope Ten Hag keeps them start for now because it's working out, says Eshok. Can I just say this? I think this is a unique game. I've got no issue with the starting lineup, but Marcus Rashford as a striker, I don't think, and I'll be happy to get proved wrong because Ten Hag's the man to do this, I don't think Marcus Rashford as a striker is a good idea. I think he's brilliant today because we're playing Man City. They will have 70% possession. They will play a high line. We will have to counter-attack. Everybody counters against Manchester City. If we were playing at home against Bournemouth, I'd be saying play Ronaldo because we're going to have a lot of the ball, put a lot of crosses into the box, play Ronaldo. Different tools for different games. Rashford suits this game for me. Vivek says, I'm really surprised not to see Rodri and go for more attack-orientated midfield. Pep thinks we will sit back and counter, and that's weird. Thank you very much, Vivek. And also, we've got, looks like the City defenders look weak, says Darren. And we've had a member for 43 months. Fearless Offence is so up for today, mainly to see our bold beauty in his suit, waving his hands about in front of Pep. I hope it lives up to all. The reality is, it's going to live up to all of our expectations anyway. It will do. I've just had a message here. Let me just see. Okay, that's fine. So, Battle of the Slapheads, says Stowe. I mean, come on. We're better than that. We can talk more than bowl the heads. But yeah, look, I think that there's so much to get into. But I'm not unhappy with Manchester United's starting lineup, and I don't think anybody should be. I'm really buzzing for this game, and I feel that we've just got to. Credibility. I mentioned this in the preview. I was on TalkSport last night. I said it there. Credibility. The Man City are the title holders of the Premier League. They are at home. They're a very, very good footballing side. We are the underdog. And the way that we win this game, if I'm absolutely honest, is by defending well like we have done, being organised, concentrated, leadership, and then when we get the ball, if we're going to have 30%, people don't think about what possession is. When Man City have got 70% possession, that means they've got 70% of the game. So when we get 30% or 35%, we've got to use it. We've got to be very, very good with it because they will have more of the ball than us. So when we get the ball, we've got to relieve the defence and we've got to hurt Manchester City. And if we do that well and we defend well, we've got a chance. What will it take for Casemiro to start, do you think? Says Anil. I've been waiting for this game for weeks, says Jamie. Haven't we all? I know it's a long shot, but if we win today, are we favourites for the title? Absolutely not, Grosser. We are benefiting from a manager who picks based on form and having options in certain positions. Long may it last, says PQ. Excited to see United again. Eriksen's going to be crucial today in the midfield, says Kurash. And we win today, we will put the league on notice. If you sleep on this team, we will take your dreams. It'll be a warning of things to come, says Tim. I am liking the positivity in the chat and I'm certainly feeling confident, but I'm not going to go, I'm going to repeat something here. We are not playing the way that Erik Ten Hag wants to play this game. Erik Ten Hag plays the game. We're going to counter-attack. He doesn't want to do that. So even if we manage to win today, we're nowhere near where Ten Hag wants to take us. So we've just got to take it as a game and see where we are because there's a long road ahead of us. And it's about taking those steps forward, isn't it? I'm really pumped for the game. It's so refreshing to feel positive before a big game, unlike last season, says Otto. Yeah, there's a feel-good factor around Manchester United. And I think that's really important. I just want to win. And if we don't win, I want to draw. And if we do lose, and you've got to own up to the fact that we could lose this game. Man City are a very good side. If we do lose, I want to come out of this game with something to feel like we felt for the last few weeks. But I think it's so important that we might concede first. We cannot let the heads drop. Last season was just there's some swear words I could use, but in summary, last season was just a catalogue of going behind and then it turning into 2-3, 4-0, isn't it? And being embarrassed by players. So I think for me, it really is credibility that we're looking for. Let me just send that. Right. Any reason why Diaz isn't starting for City, Mark, says Callum. And welcome to the Members Club, Tumbleweed. Thank you very much for joining Tumbleweed and supporting the channel. Appreciate that. You'll get your badge next to your name. And don't forget to check out your exclusive videos. Fear Naught is a member. He says, Man City will win, but the pressure will be on them. Interesting that you say that. Right, first thing I want to just do, just while we are live here, is just let you know about Sneak Energy. They are sponsoring the show, and we've got 10% off with the code SneakBridge for the first 200 people who use it. What is Sneak? It's an energy drink. It's sugar-free. It's low-calorie. You can get a container and 9 different sachets as part of your starter pack delivered to your door. Loads of lovely flavours. I'm on the Cherry Bomb today, but they've got Blue Raspberry, Purple Storm, Tropi Killer, Electric Mango. People in the chat will know a lot more as well. They've got one called Origins, which is actually rhubarb and custard. Lovely stuff. 1 scoop, water, shake it all about. You've got your energy drink for the day. Makes you feel revitalised. They've also got these metal containers, and the red one came out on Friday. So if you want to get one of those, 10% off, or your starter pack, use the code SneakBridge. Links in the description, or go through the scanned QR code, which I will whack on the screen and leave for you for a few minutes so you can see that as well. What have I done though? What have I done? There we go. I want to take that and I want to put start and I want to pause. There we go. Have I done it? No. Oh, get stuffed. This is getting on my bloody tits. There we go. I've done it. Finally got it to pause there. So what are your thoughts about the game? Let me know in the chat. Any reason why Diaz isn't starting? We've done that from Callum. Sam, welcome to the Members Club. Mr. Conza says sell out. Yeah, because YouTube channels don't have sponsors, do they, mate? Get with the times, you twat. Hi, Mark. I've got a big bet riding on United today. Do you think we could have a good chance of winning, says Benji. There's always a chance in a derby. I was getting into a bit of an argument last night. Some people might have seen it. Some ex-players getting involved. I'm going to say it again. That the red card for Emerson yesterday in the North London derby, for me, shouldn't be a red card in a North London derby or a Manchester derby. The interesting thing is, when I was on TalkSport last night, I used 2 examples. And this is relevant to Manchester derby, so listen to this. I felt that the Emerson Royale tackle was stupid, but it wasn't a red card. It should have been a yellow in a derby. That same referee didn't send Van Dijk off against Everton for stamping down on the Everton player, and didn't send off Lokonga against Arsenal for Manchester United for a similar sort of tackle. So you've got inconsistency from a referee in big games there. But this is a Manchester derby, and I've heard Sir Alex say this over the years. I've heard many people, I've heard footballers say it as well. When it's a Manchester derby, or a North London derby, or a Milan derby, you want a good referee who knows how to manage and referee those games. You'll get some people out saying, I don't care if it's a Manchester derby or it's Swindon against Stoke. I want consistency and I want every game to be refereed the same way. Nonsense, because in a Manchester derby, you want a bit of passion, you want a bit of fire, and that means you can't be giving soft yellow cards in the first 20 minutes because you're just going to end up ruining the game. So I am more than willing in this game to see Kevin De Bruyne go through Dalot and not get a yellow card in the first 10 minutes, as long as it's not reckless and out of control and a career-ending injury. The reason I'm mentioning that, because I think the referee will end up, my prediction is the referee will end up with the headlines today. He's done it before. And it's funny because I was talking about this in the preview, and funnily enough, it ended up happening in the North London derby, and I think it'll happen today. I think we've got a referee who's got bad history for destroying Manchester derbies. He sent off Chris Smalling a few years ago, and in the same game, Joe Hart was in goal for Man City, ran the length of the pitch and put his forehead onto Michael Oliver, and Michael Oliver also almost wiped it off and was like, I'll photo that later. It's like you've got to let certain things go. He's got to let this be the big game it is. And I am a bit worried about the referee today because I think we're littered with bad refereeing decisions. So keep your eye on that. Orn, welcome to the Members Club. And also Nos has been a member for 3 months. Thank you very much for that. If we lose 5-0 or more, then no progress has been made, says Billy Jones. Hey, come on, Billy. Come on, Billy. Let's have a listen to what you're talking about. We could lose 5-0 because we get 2 players sent off for dodgy red cards. We could lose 5-0 for many reasons. I wouldn't put a label on scorelines today. It's ridiculous. It's like trying to predict how the starting 11's going to start. We don't know. What we've got to achieve in this game today is credibility. And credibility can come in many shapes and forms. We could win this game and be absolutely terrible. Man City could hit the post 20 times. Referee could miss 3 penalties. And then we go up the other end. Cross comes in, hits the goalkeeper in the face, goes in, and we win 1-0. Is that credibility? It's a win. I was talking to somebody about this last week, and they said, would you rather win 1-0 but play badly, or would you rather draw 2-2 and play superbly well? And I said, you know what? You've always want the win, but for where we're going, we're past. I think it's really important. I'd probably take the 2-2. If we played really well and got 2-2, I'd probably take it over a crap 1-0. And many people would disagree with me there, but if you want credibility and progress, we're going to have to be patient. And when you look at Man United under Ollie, we were capable of beating Man City, and we did, but it was always a one-off game that you could never follow up. I think we've got to look at consistency and credibility now with Ten Hag, and the fact that it's going to take a bit of time. Thoughts on Arsenal this season, says Freddie? They're doing very, very well. Very, very well. And there you've got a manager that's building something and has built something, and consistency. Hope you're doing well. I'm confident for United today, says Nate H. And with some favourable fixtures coming up, is a draw a good result today, says David. I still stand by the fact that and I'm going to do the poll on the result in a minute. I still stand by the fact that that if somebody said to me you can have a draw right now, I would take it. I would take it. Now, Asger in the live chat is saying that no Rodri is massive. No Rodri in the Manchester City lineup. We'll start playing you the carousel now. Don't forget, the link's in the description and the QR code's in the bottom left-hand corner anyway. Sneak Energy are sponsoring our stream today. The first 200 people who use the code SneakBridge can get 10% off. They've got their brand new red metal container. You could get one of those. The starter pack, where you get a container and 9 different sachets delivered to your door. Low calorie, sugar-free energy drinks, loads of lovely flavours. The first 200 of you get 10% off with the code SneakBridge. So check it out. But I'm going to start the carousel. What is the carousel? Well, I'll tell you what the carousel is. Throughout the game, that will be updated by the second. It's the match stats. It will tell you everything about what's going on. I expect Man City to have around 65 to 70% possession. And I don't think there's anything we can do about that, because we're playing against a seasoned team that knows how to keep the ball, and we don't know how to do that yet. So I think that ultimately will end up happening. There's the Manchester City lineup. There is no Rodri. Diaz is on the bench. Rodri is not on the bench. We knew that John Stones was out. He's playing with Foden and Grealish. If anyone scores a goal, they'll get a goal on the left shoulder. If there's any yellow cards, you'll see those. And if they're substituted, there'll be arrows underneath the player who's come on. So that will update during the game for you as well. I think there's opportunities. I do think there's opportunities. And that's the United lineup, which is basically Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial past fit. Martial on the bench. Rashford keeps his place. It's the team that beat Arsenal. It feels weird that it's the team that beat Arsenal. But when you think about it logically, they deserve to start if they're all fit, because they did beat Arsenal. And it was 4 weeks ago, but that was the team that beat them. That's your league table. That will update as it stands as well. Arsenal up there. Manchester United in 6th at the moment. Obviously a little bit behind because of the games that we lost to Leeds and Palace. We didn't lose them. They got postponed. But Austin says, we need 3 points. I know you disagree, but truly our defence has been too good for our attack to not take 3 away today, says Austin. We need Martinez to deal with Haaland and use McTominay's passion, energy and desire, says Jack. And watching United stand from Australia, I hope Australians players play more Premier League, says Gurav. Thank you very much for that as well. Ronaldo scoring off the bench. I'm not convinced that Ronaldo gets on today, by the way. I mean, it's a side story. We shouldn't be talking about Ronaldo, but I'm not 100% convinced that Ronaldo gets on the pitch, because when you think about it, Martial would probably be the good replacement. I think Rashford will play an hour. Knowing how Ten Hag has worked with his substitutes and the fact that some of these players have been injured, I would imagine he's penciled Rashford in for an hour and Martial in for half an hour. We will see that, but we will see how that plays out. Casemiro on the bench, of course, yes. But no, look, I would have started Casemiro, but I've got absolutely no problems with that team. Effectively, he's picking a winning team from the Arsenal game. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right hand corner to do it. Subscribe. Free to do it. Get involved with the United Stand. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. Watch-alongs, match reactions, loads of stuff to get involved with on the channel. Fantastic community. We're really excited about this. So subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We are on the road to 1.5 million as well. So make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and get involved. I'm going to start the poll on the result right now. You can tell us what you think is going to happen. I'm going to go with the draw. I can't. That's not a spoiler. If you watched my preview on Thursday, I said I fancied this to be a draw. It could be anything. You know, the interesting thing is I've watched many United derbies over the years. I can't remember what year it was because I was a kid at the time. There might be people old enough to remember it more vividly than me. Didn't we get smashed up by a pretty shitty Man City team in the late 80s? Got beat, I think, 5-2 or something like that. It is a derby. A lot of things can happen in a derby. We could lose 5-0. We could win 3-0. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. It sounds weird to Stephen Rossi, but I'm more excited to see how United perform than I am nervous about today's result because I know it's a process. I like that. I've got a good feeling about today, says Eno. Consistency in the team selection, hopeful for a constant display, 2-1 United. And do you think Spurs could have gone out with a draw yesterday? It wasn't for stupid Emerson red card. Who knows, Mazik? I think Arsenal are very good at the moment. To get a good result today, we have to be switched on for the full 90 minutes. That defence is key today, says Trix. You know what? I think that when you look at it like this, he's been very intelligent. Ten Hag's been very intelligent. It's keeping everyone on their toes, really. Because if he look, I'm not saying he would have done this. I don't think he was ever going to do this. I thought if Casemiro was going to play Casemiro and McTominay, but if he dropped McTominay for Casemiro, McTominay sat there going, well, I've played really well and I've lost my place. If he plays Ronaldo over Rashford and Rashford's like, I've worked really hard to get back fit and you've dropped me, you know, I think he's done it the right way because he's picked the team that beat Arsenal and then on the bench he's got hungry players like Casemiro, Ronaldo, Martial, and those players are desperate to start in a game like this as well. But it also makes people on the bench think, you know what, on the starting lineup think, God, I could lose my place in this team. So look, I think it's intelligent. Also, we got a super chat from iTrix, who's been a member for 5 months. To get a result today, we've got to be switched on for the full 90 minutes. I've read that one, haven't I? I've read that one. I'm happy with the lineup, says Josh. And Ronaldo coming on could be good, says Joe Snow. I'm not convinced that we'll see Ronaldo come on, as I say. But look, one thing to watch out for in this game. I want to talk a little bit about tactics here. One thing to watch out for. I don't think Rashford will play the 90 minutes. And I don't think it's in the plan. I think he'll play 60. And I think Martial will come on, bang on 60 minutes. Maybe even half-time. Maybe a little bit later, 70, but I'm predicting 60 minutes Martial comes on for Rashford because he'll want to keep that mobility in the number 9 position. Second thing, we've got to be very careful down the flank of the right-hand side. If you've watched Man City this season, Kevin De Bruyne has been almost David Beckham-esque. He wanders out right, he wanders out to the right, he overlaps, he gets the space, and he's been whipping in some lovely crosses that Grealish benefited against Wolves. Haaland benefited against Villa. So we've got to be very, very careful down that left-hand side, which means Jadon Sancho is very important because the overlaps will come. And on the left-hand side, Anthony's got to work hard because Cancelo, for me, is one of the best left-backs in the world. Hi, Mark. Can you shout out Albert? He's the Ronaldo of the MLB and Cardinals and just hit 700 home runs. Thank you very much, says Nelson. Shout out to Albert. Scooby-Doo to tackle Haaland like Keane did to Haaland's dad when he played for City. I'm telling you, Mark, says Jack. And John Stewart's a legend. He's just gifted 5 memberships. So there you go. Thank you, everybody. Please do whack the share button as well. Get involved. You're all very, very welcome. It's an exciting one. Yeah. There we go. Do you think Ronaldo is finished, says Yusuf. I have got no thought about Ronaldo when we're talking about a Manchester derby. And Daniel says, I hope we win today and we can keep Holland quiet. I think he means Haaland. Quite a draw would be great. Hope you and the family are doing well. Thank you very much, Daniel. That's nice. Come on, United, let's have it. It says, it's your boy Calv. And what do you think the tactics Erik ten Hag will execute to stop City and be a threat to going forward, says Nima. I think that's a really good question. How do you think we're going to approach this game today? I think we'll approach it very, very similarly to how we played against Arsenal and Liverpool. And I think that my only concern is, and I think many people have spoken about this, is rustiness, really. It's 4 weeks since we played a decent opposition and had to counter-attack. When we played in Moldova, it wasn't the same 11, and also they didn't really they don't want to counter attack, do they? So it was a different kind of game. I think that this game today, obviously we know Man City are one of the best teams in the world. Possession wise, they're one of the best teams in the world, and they are going to push us, obviously. I think that what we need to do in this game is have the concentration and mentality that we had against Liverpool and against Manchester City. And I think if we do have that, then we've got a really, really good chance. But because it's been 4 weeks and we've had an international break, it's really, really difficult to predict how we will approach this game, in the sense that will we have a bit of rust? But then hopefully they will as well. Manchester Derby plus the Packers are playing the Patriots later. This could be a good day. Love from Wisconsin, says Joel. Yeah, loving the NFL. Let's keep the momentum going and go all out on this City team. I believe we can do it today. Go United 2-1, says Tapila. And welcome to the Members Club, Daniel Wilson. Thank you very much for joining. If you want to be a member of the channel, you get your badge next to your name. Just click the link in the chat at the top, or you can click the join button. Sean says, I'm pumped up for this game and feel we can get the win. Bruno is going to be key and his passing needs to be on point. Glad Martial's back on the bench. And Smalling headed 2-1 win, an away win for Mourinho versus ex-City Dzeko. Foreshadowing. My opinion, Serie A is most competitive league. Teams very even, says UEFA there. Yeah, shout out to Mourinho and to Chris Smalling. My prediction is going to be 1-1, but just looking at the poll, you can vote for it in the chat. 10,000 of you voted already. I mean, this is a United bias. I'm loving the confidence, but I don't think it's a reality bite. We've got 30% of you going with the City win, 20% going with the draw, and 50% of you going with the United win. That's what you call red bias, and I like it. Man City are the favourites. Man City are the favourites. I'm really looking forward to Haaland up against Martinez and Varane. I've said this a few times. There will be certain pundits today, experts, who are really hoping that Erling Haaland scores a header so that they can go, I told you so, Martinez isn't very good. Even if that happens, can we just say this? Martinez, if Haaland scores against him today, is playing the best striker in the world at the moment for form. How does that make you a bad centre-back if the best striker in the world for form scores against you? Surely you look at what Martinez has done over the last few games against Arsenal, against Liverpool, against Leicester, against Southampton, where he's played really, really well. So there needs to be some context to this today. But I think it's also important to remember that Man City play with one player up front. It's not Martinez's job to deal with Haaland. It's Martinez and Varane to deal with Haaland. So it's a centre-back partnership, and Haaland is an intelligent centre-forward. So what he will do is he will move between the two for different times. He's fast, he's tall, he's physical, and he can score all sorts of goals. So look, he's the best striker in the league at the moment. It's going to be really interesting, and he's a match winner. Hey, why? I'm not going to answer that. Boring. Keps, welcome to Members Club. Is it wrong that I want to see Martinez just shatter a City player in the first 15? I would love to bring back the true grit in the derby, says Austin. How we play without the ball will be key. Varane for man of the match, says Eno. All I can repeat is I want credibility in this game. I want Manchester United to come out of this game with some credibility. And if we can do that, then I'll be very, very happy. There is no Rodri in the game, Jard. He is not suspended. I presume he's injured. I do think that makes a big difference to City. But having said that, I think Gundogan and Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne are still a very, very good midfield. Just got in from the grand final in Australia, says Oliver. Losing team. Praying for some redemption tonight. Casemiro on early second half, surely, says Oliver. And Young, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. Well, the benches will be clear. Thanks for subscribing as well. Flix has just subscribed. You can do that bottom right-hand corner. I think the bench options will be very, very interesting. Let me just have a quick look at the bench options for both sides. Well, we know Manchester United's bench options. You've obviously got Tom Heaton as the backup goalkeeper. We've got Victor Lindelof on the bench. We've got Luke Shaw on the bench. Who else have we got on the bench? We've got Ronaldo, Martial, Fred, Casemiro, Pellistri, Elanga. So Casemiro, Ronaldo, Martial, Fred, Lindelof. They're all good options if you need to change things in different areas. You look at Man City's bench. They've got Diaz, Laporte, Alvarez, Mahrez, and then the rest of them are pretty much unknown young players, you know. So, I mean, look, defensively they can change things. They've got Diaz and Laporte. Alvarez and Mahrez are their attacking options. They don't have a lot of options in the midfield. So, but if we can stay in the game, if I was telling you my perfect game, first half an hour it's 0-0. We defend well. Get a goal before half time, make Pep think, oh, I need to go for it a little bit, and then get another goal around 60 minutes, 2-0, you've got the result. They ain't going to score 3 against us. So that's my ideal thing. Keep it tight, keep it 0-0 for half an hour, get a goal before half time, make Pep panic at half time, and then second half, let them come at us a bit, around 60 minutes, get another goal, and then shut up shop. That's what I'd like to see happen. But, you know, we can't. It's hard enough to predict scores. It's very hard to predict how a game's going to go. If they go in on Martinez, it shows they don't do their research. Martinez pocketed Haaland when Ajax played Dortmund, says Chilled Aussie. I'm hoping for a United win, says Jamie, but would be happy with the point. Love the channel, Mark. Keep up all the great work you do. Thank you very much, Jamie. Thank you very much there. How do you think the United defence will stop Haaland? Because he's not a machine. I think there is this obsession that Erling Haaland is unstoppable, and he's not unstoppable. He's not scored every single game in the Premier League, has he? Mark, you're a pompous arse, says Luke. Yeah, according to Piers Moore. I should have just replied with that picture of DiCaprio in that film where he's like looking at the TV going like that. Yeah. Being called a pompous arse by Piers Morgan is, I must be, I mean, that's amazing. But Arsenal are doing well at the moment. Give them their moments. I'm not gonna argue about that. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. We're on the road to 486,000. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe, only 500 away. So bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Let's see if we can hit that before we get to the start of this match, which is only 27 minutes away. Are you getting excited, everybody? I certainly am. Arlen had 2 bad experiences with our Norwegian games in the break. Let's hope his form is shaken, says Tuss. Thank you very much for that insight. Hi, Mark. Love the videos. Keep it up. I just want to say that De Gea has to be on his A game for us to win today, says Ruben. And also, does anyone outside of us here actually rate Varane? Haven't heard a word about him in the build-up today. All about Eriksen, Martinez being pivotal, says Nick P. It's the British media, mate. They're tiresome. They're absolutely tiresome. Even Sky today were putting out another interview about Ten Hag where he's being asked about Harry Maguire. Only in England would we be wasting so much time talking about Harry Maguire when he's been on the bench for a month. And just because he's been to England and had a bad performance, it now has to be mentioned by the manager. Varane has been superb. Ten Hag spoke about him before the international break. Martinez has been superb. We've got the best centre-back pairing in the league at the moment. And we're still talking about our third choice centre-back who's got to work hard to get back in the team, and hopefully he does. But yeah, Varane, I'd rather he doesn't. He does deserve praise, but he's not getting it. Only from the fans. Whether we win 5-0 or lose 5-0, I back this manager in this process 100%. Feeling nervous, but we can definitely get something today, says Lee. Credibility. That's what we're looking for, isn't it? Please, Mark, don't say things like that. They won't score 3 against us. That could come back to haunt, says Arjun. Anything can come back to haunt you, mate. United win 1-0 on a smash and grab, says Ethan Johnson. And there's nothing wrong with that. So many teams will have to counterattack at Manchester City. It's just the way it is. There's absolutely no shame in being a team that counterattacks when you play Manchester City. Arsenal would come here and do that. Liverpool at the moment would have to come here and do that. So there is absolutely no shame attached to that, and we shouldn't be expecting to come into this game and dominate the ball. If we did, it would be absolutely incredible, absolutely fantastic. But we're not looking for that. We know that's not going to happen. We gave the ball to Arsenal at Old Trafford. We gave the ball to Liverpool at Old Trafford. At times, we gave the ball to Southampton and Leicester. So we're going to give the ball to Man City because we're not quite where we need to be yet. But we will develop into a possession-based team, but it's not going to happen today. And I would challenge you, what team in the world would come to the Etihad and try and keep the ball? Maybe Barcelona, but that's about it. Hi, Mark. Sadly, I still have a soft spot for Maguire. Do you think Eriksen can turn his form around like he did Rashford? says Sam. I think there's always a way back into this team. It was interesting that Ten Hag spoke so glowingly about Luke Shaw, because I thought Luke Shaw did play quite well against Germany for England. So he spoke very openly about how well he played, but he's not in the team today, is he? So, you know, there's opportunities to get back into this team. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But you've got to be good enough. And at the moment, Luke Shaw's not good enough to take Malacia out of the team. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not good enough to take what's his name out of the team. I'm trying to think of his name now. Who am I talking about? Yeah, Wan-Bissaka's not good enough to take Delo out of the team, and Maguire and Lindelof are not good enough to take out Varane and Martinez. And I also think as well, why should we get lost into this? Malacia and Shaw is an interesting dynamic. Maybe Luke Shaw can take that spot because Malacia is still quite young. But ultimately, do you think Maguire's better than Martinez? Do you think he's better than Varane? Do you think Lindelof's better than Martinez or Varane? I think that the first two choice centre-backs are the right two choice centre-backs. I don't think they're on trial. I think it would take an injury or a really bad run of form for them to be taken out of the team. Now that Rodri's out of this game, do you think that it's a wasted opportunity not having Casemiro bossing the midfielders, Akash? I never thought that Casemiro was going to start. I'd love him to have started, but I didn't actually think it was going to happen. I think this would be a good thing to ask the chat. Do you think Martinez is worth the amount we paid for him, says Jack? Well, there you go. Let me know in the chat. Do you think Martinez was worth it? We did spend a lot. We did spend a lot of money on him, and I don't think anybody can deny that. But you know, very, very good player. Really happy with him. Right, I'm going to close the poll on the results. We've had 20,000 votes. 50% of you are going with a win for Manchester United. 31% are going with a win for City. And 19% are going with a draw. So well done on that. You've cast your votes there. Okay, let me just have a quick look here. Just had a message. Not happy. Casemiro's not starting. Yeah. That's interesting, really. I'm content. I'm all right with it. I think it's fine. I think we go with what we've got. It's the team that started against Arsenal. Remember, Scott McTominay's on a yellow card, only a yellow card away from a match ban. So when that happens, Casemiro will get his chance. I mean, Casemiro is one of the best centre defensive midfielders in the world. Of course, I think he should be playing, but I also have huge respect for Ten Hag in the fact that he's picking a team that's winning. I think this would be a good thing to ask. That, yeah, I've done that one from Jack. Haaland will eat you, says Arkash. And as a gunner, I'm not so sure who I want to win. I would almost say hope United wins. We won't win the league, but now for everyone a rival, says Alexander B. Mate, if you're an Arsenal fan or a Spurs fan or a Chelsea fan or a Liverpool fan, you need United to win. You don't need a draw. That's too respectful to United. You need a United win because we are a work in progress and we will drop points to somebody you won't expect us to. So you want Man United to win because Man City are far and away the favourites to win this title. So if you are anything other than a Man City fan, you should want United to win because we're, even as a United fan, and United fans would say, we will have roller coaster rides this season where we will drop points where we shouldn't drop points. But so, yeah, we would. If you're an Arsenal fan, you've got to want a Man City loss today. In TUSFC, you could try out Adeyemi. He's got 94 potential. Thank you for that, TDW Wrestling. I do like the old Adeyemi signing on previous FIFAs. City will win the Premier League this season, says HS. Still want United losing, says Hate Tottenham. I love that even though Goldbridge is delusional sometimes, he's objective when he needs to be, says Ike. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, everybody. We're on the road to 486,000. Casemiro is the new Donny, says Daz. And when's career mode back? Tomorrow, GB, 3 o'clock on Twitch. I've got a good feeling about this game, says Alec. Haaland's going to eat grass, says Goku. If there's a red card for Man United's defence, who should be substituted, says Lakshay. I do worry about this. I do genuinely worry about this. I think that the referee probably hasn't got the mention that he should have done. I always mention it. I think it's a massive, massive thing. We've been to the Etihad and had a red card from Chris Smalling from this referee. He can ruin the game and he's more than capable of it. I just hope Michael Oliver does us a favour today and actually puts in a performance that that befits a game like this, because I want the game to flow. And I will be even-handed. Look, I've got to be very, very careful, because I'll get called a hypocrite if there is a yellow card challenge, which I demand a red card for. I want to see this referee letting things go as much as possible, because I want to see a game of football that I want it to be 11 against 11. I think if you are having a bet, Scott McTominay getting a yellow card is absolutely nailed on, especially in a Manchester derby. I mean, he'd get a yellow card against Derby County, let alone a Manchester derby. So I think Scott McTominay has to get a yellow card. And it's one game where you'd say to McTominay, do go and get a yellow card. You've got to go and put your foot in. You've got to try and impose yourself. We've got to be physical. So, yeah, let's go and do it. Do you think United have a chance of winning, says Aditya? Of course I do. And do you think United will get Gakpo in January, says TW? Transfers for me at the moment are a byproduct of a Manchester derby. That's the focus at the moment. But what I would say about that, relevant to now, I didn't expect us to have Martial and Rashford back. And when you've got Martial and Rashford back, you end up with Martial and Ronaldo on the bench, and suddenly you've gone from no depth up front to two very good options on the bench. If everybody can stay fit, we might not need to buy a striker till the summer. But the issue that we've got is, I think Rashford and Martial, one of them will be injured in the next month. I guarantee it. And I don't want it, and nobody wants it, but I think that there are issues with those two players, that they're suffering from physical aspects of being overplayed and played when they're injured for the last 3 years. So I still think that we do need another striker, because I think that we've got really good options. Ronaldo offers you something Rashford doesn't, and Martial offers you something those two don't. And they can all play through the middle. If you're playing a counter-attacking system, then Rashford with pace is good. If you want to play a little bit quicker but with build-up play, Martial's good. And if you're going to be playing a team that's parking the bus, then Ronaldo's brilliant in the penalty box. So we've got 3 good options. It's just about keeping them fit. That's going to be our big issue. Indonesia TV is showing the Leeds versus Aston Villa match instead of Man United match, says Conan. I just want to say this. I've been waiting for the moment to do it. Horrible to wake up this morning, and I think everybody will echo what I'm about to say. Horrible to wake up this morning and see and hear the story that came out from Indonesia about this football match, where horrible amount of numbers. Was it over 180 or something like that? People have died in what was effectively a stampede at a ground where police have apparently tear-gassed people, which has caused mayhem. And look, I'm old enough to remember some of these events, and obviously Hillsborough comes to mind. And football fans should not be going to football grounds and not coming home. And it's horrible to hear, and it's horrible to hear from any country. But Indonesia has always been something that I and the chat have always had a bit of back and forth on, because I always noticed that there's a lot of people who watch from Indonesia. So thoughts and prayers with the Indonesian nation and the football family, and most importantly the friends and family of those people who've lost their lives at a football match. It's unacceptable, and I'm sure there'll be lots of investigations into what went wrong there. But for that volume of people to have lost their life at a football match, it's unacceptable and it's tragic. And thoughts go out to everybody in relation to that. Do you think we will get Bellingham, says TDW Wrestling, who just seems to be throwing me random questions. I don't know, probably not. How long is my member, says Nelson. Yeah, okay. Big Casemiro was for these big games. I really thought Casemiro Man United career would have flown off tonight. Trust Eric is all I can say, says Sahil. I'll repeat what I've said about Casemiro. I do think he'll end up in the team, but he's not a Ten Hag signing. Anthony, straight in the team. Martinez, straight in the team. Eriksen, straight in the team. Casemiro, not in the team. He will get his place. De Jong would have gone straight into the team. Casemiro is quite simply what happened to Conte with Bissouma. Do you want this player? We can get them. Oh yeah, I'd love them. But they're not top of the list for that manager. It's sort of like in football, your director of football can say, we can get you this player, do you want them? And they're a good player, and you go, yeah, please get them me. But they're not the player that you're asking for, if you know what I mean. I think Casemiro will end up being in our first team. But if he was Frankie de Jong, he'd be in the team. I hope that makes sense. I think Ten Hag wants Casemiro, but it wasn't a player he wanted. It's a player that's been said, do you want him? And he's gone, yeah, that'd be a good signing. Ronaldo lost his son. No wonder he's had no form, says Jake Lewis. And United are going to win, says Stolen YouTube Shorts. It's like getting an Xbox when you wanted a PlayStation, says Stephen. Yeah, that's not a bad one, actually. That's not a bad one at all. Gaz FM is a new member. He says, thanks very much for the free membership. I think that was it Stephen who gifted 5 memberships? Cheers for that. If you want to become a member, click the join button. Get a little badge next to your name. How was managing YouTube All-Stars? It's a distance memory now. We're thinking about Manchester United and the Manchester Derby, and we're only 13 minutes away from the start of this game. Remember, we've got the stats carousel going round for you as well. That league table will update as it stands, but obviously there's only Man United and Man City kicking off at 2 o'clock. You've got the lineups that are going round as well, and we've got in-game stats, which will change by the second as things are going on. Mark, what do you think of the opening wrap, says Mark Friedman, and... No, Donny, what's his injury? Good to see Palestri on the bench, says Lee Taylor. It is good to see Palestri back. I thought that Donny would have been on the bench today, and obviously that is not the case. So Donny van der Beek is not on the bench today. So we'll have to wait and see what the story is with that. If we win this game, we will be title contenders. I don't want to talk about the title, Darren. I think United have got such a long road ahead of them. I think talking about title talk just seems ridiculous. We're still playing counter-attacking football with a manager that wants to play high possession football. So we've got a long journey to go. We tried to play possession football and got beat by Brentford and Brighton. We've now gone to a more defensive counter-attacking system that's got us some results. At some point, Ten Hag's going to have to move away from that to try and go more possession-based, and we may have a little dip then. So we've just got to go game to game and trying to win every game. Mitch Ryan, welcome to the Members Club. Let me just remind you, I've pinned it to the chat there. Sneak Energy are sponsoring this stream. The first 200 people who use the code SneakBridge will get 10% off. You can go through the scan in the QR code, or you can go through the link in the description. Sneak Energy drinks are delivered to your door, sugar-free, low-calorie. They've got fizzy drinks. They've got the tubs of 40 servings, or you can just get a starter pack where you get your drinks container and 9 different sachets of your choice to try. They also sell these beauties, these metal containers. Now, I normally use the black one, but they brought the red one out on Friday, and brand new, lovely little metal shaker. 10% off for the first 200 people who use SneakBridge. Go for it and get yours delivered to your door. Some lovely flavours as well. I'm on the Cherry Bomb today, which tastes like cherry. Blue Raspberry, Purple Storm, which is very familiar. Tropic Killer, Electric Mango, Origins. There's loads of flavours. Check them out, delivered to your door. Thanks very much for Sneak, and make sure you use that code SneakBridge. You can get yourself 10% off. Right, my prediction, Ali, is 1-1. 1-1. Yeah, but I've got to be honest. This game could go all over the place. It could be anything. I think it's massively disrespectful to say that Man City couldn't beat us 4 or 5-0, because they could. I've seen United be beat. I've seen Solskjaer's United beat Pep. So we can win this game. We can lose this game. We can draw this game. Anything can happen. Man City are one of the best teams in the world. We're one of the worst Man United sides I've ever seen. Last season, this season, we're showing progression, identity. It's about credibility. Which players from your treble-winning team would you put in against City today, says Reese? All of them. Every single one of them. Yeah, every single one from that treble would start over every one of those at the moment, because like Delo said, their legacy is to try and be the team and players that got United back. What does Manchester United need to do to get the pull attraction that, for example, Man City have to make big names want United like Bellingham, says Holy Grain? Well, it's interesting because Erik ten Hag was talking about that because apparently Erling Haaland had a list of points that were important to him on where he chose to go to next. And Manchester United didn't go with it, didn't really hit those points. If you're talking to me about Jude Bellingham, or you're talking to me about what Manchester United need to do to attract better players, there's 3 things really. Manchester United need to... Oh, have you seen this tweet? Roy Keane and Alfie Haaland, I've just retweeted it on @MarkGoldbridge, how close they are on the pitch. They don't like each other. They do not like each other. But for Manchester United to attract the best players in the world, you've got to be playing in the Champions League. You've got to be playing good football. You've got to be a contender. Why would any player want to come to Manchester United at the moment who's a top player? Why did Frenkie de Jong not want to come to Manchester United and wanted to stay at Barcelona? Because he's happy in Barcelona and they are playing good football. So for Manchester United to want to get the best players, we've got to compete. We've got to be the best. Just some quotes from Erik ten Hag. He trained well, returned to team training, and we took the right steps. He is fit. On fielding the same 11 as he did against Arsenal. This is a different team, although they have similarities, but it's about us and developing our game. We need a win, a result, and it can bring confidence. So, yeah, there you go. Rashford trained well, returned to team training, and we took the right steps. He is fit. Well, I've got a theory that Marcus Rashford will play exactly an hour. Exactly an hour. And then he will come off for Martial. Roy Keane has said, I think Martinez has responded to some criticism. We can all analyse what players can't do, but if you focus on what he can do, you can see he can defend, and he has experience. I don't get it. I really just don't get the criticism of Martinez, if I'm honest. Welcome to the Members Club, Mitch Ryan. Lee Gelder says, we will have to be very patient today. I dare say we won't even see a press. When we have the ball, we have to find our passes and not panic, says Lee. Welcome to the Members Club, Bjorn. Hi, Mark. Given our attack is probably our weakest area, do you think this explains Erik ten Hag's decision to use Akanji and Aki? Is he underestimating us? I think you mean Pep. Says Triggered Soul. No, I think somebody said it in the chat, and I would agree with them. The reason he's probably gone with Akanji and Aki is that they're quicker than Diaz, and we're playing pure pace up front. So he's probably looked at the goals that they've conceded against Manchester United over the years, and the one area that we tend to hurt them on is pace. So I would say he's probably just played a couple of players for pace, and maybe Diaz has got a bit of a knock. I don't know. Bradley Aitchison, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, got any job offers, Mark? Have you seen the Football Manager 23 mock-up of you and speed on the cover? Football Bridge stocks rising, mate, says Bradley. I got a job offer from an amateur club in Liverpool, which is just completely no on all sorts of levels. But yeah, I think so nervous, says Will. Let's hope for a Ten Hag masterclass today. I think it's going to be. I must feel tired. I don't normally feel tired going into when the game's not even started, but I do almost feel a little bit tired here because there's so much adrenaline and emotion in this game. And yeah, there's so much expectation. We are the underdog. I feel like we're Rocky Balboa in Rocky 4, going to Moscow to fight Ivan Drago. You know, everybody's against us. We are the underdog, and we're going to have to fight for some credibility here. We're going to have to win the crowd. We're going to have to win the audience. And hopefully we can do it. Hopefully we can do it. But concentration will be the key. Concentration and mentality, because we could go 1-0 down. I'd be absolutely stunned if Man City don't score at some point. And if you assume that Man City are going to score, you've got to assume that they might score first. And if they score first, the mentality is key. We've got to keep that mentality. We've got to be mentality kings. And look at the difference of Man United as well. Bruno Fernandes leading the team out as the captain. It's a different Manchester United. It's a different Manchester United. Focus has to be there. Some of these players were not part of the problems last year. Some of them were. But everybody collectively has got to be together. That fighting spirit, says Terp. We're only as strong as our weakest link. And that is a really important thing. Everybody has got to be up for this. Everybody has got to be focused. Everybody's got to be on the ball. And let's see what happens. Michael Oliver there. Big responsibility on his shoulders. Yep. Looking forward. Together as one. Exactly. Do you think that Man United can ever be back to the top, says Holy Grain? Well, of course I do. Destiny, welcome to the Members Club as well. So we're getting really close here. Which way is it going to go? Let's do this. What's happening in the F1, by the way? I heard there was a lot of rain in Singapore. I presume it's not actually started yet. Always seems to clash with United games. I do like watching my F1. Okay, let's have a look here what we've got. So we've got 4 minutes until the start. 50% of you went with the United win. Teams are in the tunnel. Let's go. Yes. Out they come onto the pitch. Looking forward to this. Looking forward to this. I've got my pen ready. I've got loads of notes to take. I'm sure you're ready as well. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We were on the road to 486,000. Let's see if we've hit it yet. Probably not, but I'll tell you how close we are. bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Yeah, we're only 200 away from 486. Click that button in the bottom right-hand corner and subscribe to the channel. You're all very, very welcome. United Stand live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. Lots to get involved with. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We are ready to go, everybody. We are ready to go. I want to see it today. I want to see this passion. I want to see this concentration. I want to see this reaction. It's going to be big. I don't mind if the game starts slow. Don't care if the game starts slow at all. It's about keeping them out. Famous last words. You've got to be brave sometimes. I don't see United doing what they did last year. I don't see players walking around the pitch. I don't think Ten Hag will allow it. I think he's got options on the bench that if people play badly, he'll take them off. I don't see this United side crumbling. I don't see United getting dominated. I don't see those things happening, and therefore they shouldn't happen. And if they did happen, we'd have huge problems. Yes, we can lose this game, but I think we can be in this game. And I think one of the most important things is with 15 minutes to go, we've got to be in the game. It can't be over. It can't be 2 or 3-0. It's got 15 minutes to go. We've got to be in with a chance. Got to be in with a chance. And if we can do this, then that's progress. That's it. But I also want to say that it's not beyond the realms of possibility that Man City play a fantastic game and we can't live with them. That's just how good they are. The Etihad is no Thunderdome. If you know, you know, says James. It's certainly not. So Gundogan in for Rodri. Passes per game, as I said, Rodri's one of the best and highest. I think he's probably the highest in the Premier League for passes per game. He averages 91. Gundogan 74. That's still a lot. That is still a lot. But considering McTominay averages 30. So I think last season, Rodri in the Manchester derby passed the ball more than Bruno, McTominay and Fred combined. So it's a different thing. It's a different thing. I've just realised I haven't got my timer ready. Oh, I have. Don't worry. Okay, we're ready to go here, everybody. Get ready to rumble. Make sure you smash a like, subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're ready to go. We're ready to go. Tyrell Malacia won all 4 Premier League starts for Manchester United. Yeah, let's see what happens. Right, players getting ready here. Goldbridge goes silent as the nerves kicks in. Let's go, says Eric. Big up the chats. How are we all feeling? We're in it together. Here we go. Let's get ready to go. First thing I noticed is Martinez didn't interact with any of the City players in the tunnel. He's got the eye of the tiger. He's got that mentality. He's a mentality king. You know, apparently he's a really nice guy off the pitch, but when he goes onto the pitch, he's absolutely on it and ready to go. Yeah, let's go. Oh, I'm ready. We can do this. We'll do this, Scotty. I don't normally go quiet. That means I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm trying to. I've got to get the clock ready. Here we go. Bruno's ready to go. Haaland reminds me of Ivan Drago, says Joshua, like he was made in the job. Well, Joshua, make a good point. If you've ever seen Rocky 4, basically Martinez is Rocky Bilbao and Haaland is Ivan Drago. We've basically got Rocky 4 in a football match here. We are away in Moscow, but it's the Etihad. And the timer starts there. So basically, we've got a condensed Rocky 4 here as Manchester United take on Manchester City. And there's your timer up and running below me as well. Oh, to my right. And we're going here. Right, this is going to be... Just can't take your eyes off this now. Let's see how it goes. Can we get on the ball? How much of the ball will Manchester City have? Tactically, it's going to be so intriguing to watch. Manchester derby time. Manchester United. Let's go. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're only 100 away from 486,000. Thanks everyone who's been tuning in. Manchester's red. Let's not say that yet. Long way to go. Long way to go. 90 minutes, in fact. 1989 now. But Man City just passing the ball around the back at the moment. Happy to have that there. Rashford, I'd say to Rashford, for 60 minutes, give me everything you got, and then I'll take you off. Haaland deep. Varane wins the ball. That's not a foul. Shut up, ref. Haaland looks like a Targaryen, says Ben. Do not think that was a foul there straight away. Look at him. Oliver giving soft fouls away already. Let the game bloody flow. It's a Manchester derby, you prat. Would love if Martinez scores a header from a corner, says Connor Shields. Nice little ball into Grealish there. Delo needs to... Oh, no! No! He's given a yellow card in the first minute. Absolute disgrace. What an absolute fool. A yellow card in the first minute. What an idiot. Absolute idiot. Oliver should be sacked for that. In a derby. What a fool. What an absolute fool. Well, I think you know what's going to happen in this game. You already know what's going to happen in this game. You don't give a yellow card in the first 5 minutes of a derby. You don't. You just let that go. And then if a Man City player does it, you let that go as well. He's set this game up bad now. Basically, every tackle is going to be a yellow card. Bloody idiot. Just give a foul and let it go. Oh, absolute idiot. Idiot. Cannot stand that. Man City on the attack. De Gea with the save. And another block. Man United are all over the place here. McTominay with the block. David De Gea with the save. It was two big chances for Manchester City. And they're on the ropes a bit here, Manchester United. They look a bit all over the place. Haaland peeling off to the back post. Grealish with the cross. Varane calms it down. Bit of a bad start. Someone's going to go down to 10 men, says Odd. Yeah, well, I don't agree with the yellow card. I don't think you referee a derby like that. You don't get your yellow cards out straight away. Banger says it's a clear yellow. Get out and walk. If you don't understand what should happen in a derby, you don't belong in football, bloody idiots. First 5 minutes of a derby, anybody knows you don't get your yellow card out unless you absolutely have to. It's a prat with a rule book. This is why you need ex-players in football. Man City are all over United at the moment. This is not good. What did I talk about? De Bruyne overlapping on the right-hand side. We've let him do that already. Crosses coming into the box. It's not a great start from Manchester United here. They are being dominated a little bit. They're a bit all over the place. They've got to settle down here. The game's too soft because of the refs, says Paul D. It's these referees with the rule books. Absolute fool, that referee. He'll make it about him as well. I'm just following the letter of the rule. And my mum's done my haircut. Prat. Get out. Nonsense. Absolutely stupid. He's ruined a Manchester derby before, Michael Oliver. He'll do it again. He'll do it again. But on a more serious point, Manchester City are looking very, very threatening here. I don't know what we're trying to do. I'm trying to get my head around this. We don't seem to be mobile enough. That Delo yellow was not even a yellow in any game, says Dino. In the first minute of a game, you go over to him. My issue with that yellow card on Delo is, as a referee, you go over and you say, no more. One more, you're in the book. You give it. What happened to giving a player a chance? The standard of refereeing this week has been poor, says John. 100%. Just give him a chance, a warning. Like, you shouldn't go straight for a yellow card. Stupid. Wrong ref for a derby, says Ragnar. Well, it makes Delo's job really difficult now because Grealish is a diver. So all he's got to do is dive and he'll get him sent off. Delo's going to have to be very, very careful now. But United need to play that way as well. No, come on. We need to keep possession, Bruno. That is not what we want to see from Bruno. Weak giving up of the ball. Keep the ball. Can't be doing little Hollywood passes like that. He's tried a little dink into Anthony. It's miles off. Man City are back on the ball. Come on, we're not picking up the runners here at all. Bernardo Silva's just moving off McTominay. It's not a good matchup, that. McTominay against Bernardo Silva is not a good matchup. He's too mobile for him. This was the save. McTominay stops it. It's a shot from, it's De Bruyne as well. De Gea just gets his body in the way, and then McTominay does the same on, I think it was Bernardo Silva as well. 2 bits of last-ditch defending for Manchester United there, but they just need to settle a bit. I wouldn't be talking about Grealish being a diver when you've got Bruno says 58 go. Grealish is a diver, everyone knows that. Shouldn't have been a yellow, but we've just got to get on with it. Yeah, United are giving away soft possession here. Everything we needed to do at the start of this game, we're not doing. Eriksen's just gifted the ball away there. We need to keep the ball. Got to keep the ball. I'll be very interested to see what the stats are as they go round, in fact. So what are your thoughts early on, everybody? Let me know in the chats. We've got a new member, Dudley. Our City are on the attack here. Another cross. 1-0. It's fucking 1-0. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible from Manchester United. Foden's there. He's got his little shushy face on as well and his crap haircuts. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. It's like walking on your parents having sex. It's disgusting. Absolutely horrible defending from Manchester United. We're all over the place. All over the place. It's Bernardo Silva. McTominay's lost him again. How much space is McTominay leaving to Bernardo Silva there? You can't do that. Nobody's going with the runners. It's too easy for Manchester City. It's easy peasy. Nothing anybody can do. No one's picking up the runners from the midfield. 1-0. I can't believe how bad that is. 1-0. Fucking rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Rubbish. It's a horrible start. Absolutely horrible start. And it's been coming. They should have had a goal already. Horrible start. Lazy, not picking up the runners. I'd be bloody fuming if I was Ten Hag. Absolutely fuming. What's Martinez and Varane going to do there when they've got runners from the midfield? You've got to pick up the runners. Eriksen, McTominay, they've got to pick up the runners and they're not. Bernardo Silva's wandering all over the pitch. Bernardo Silva's McTominay's man and he's out on the left wing and McTominay's pointing at Delot who's gone with Foden. It's very clever from Man City. Bernardo Silva's swapped with Foden and McTominay and Delot have just not read that situation at all. And you've got McTominay pointing at Delot to go to Bernardo Silva who's thinking he's got to go with Foden. It's just poor from United, to be honest with you. And I mean, 1-0 down in the first 10 minutes. It's absolutely dreadful. It really is. You can't start like that. But I don't think any United fan can moan because David De Gea and McTominay have just blocked two big chances before that. No Ronaldo again, says Desmond. Disgraceful. I'm tired of the best striker on earth being benched for Rashford up front, says Desmond. He's not happy, Ten Hag. He won't be happy because they've switched off. Look, I didn't have a problem with the team that he picked, but this is why a lot of people wanted Casemiro to start, isn't it? Bloody Bruno, says Jasper. Well, Man City are just bullying us at the moment. Against a team like that, it's about bending but not breaking, and we've already broken. Get Casemiro on, says Lucas. Here we go, Bruno. Rashford, terrible first touch. Fucking get hold of the ball, lads. It's not just the defending. We're terrible on the ball. Everybody's first touch is awful. The passing's awful. It's just lazy. I don't know what they've been doing the last few days, but it's terrible at the moment. It's not rusty. Rusty. We're like a bike that's been left out in the rain for a year. It's terrible. Every aspect of everybody's game is lethargic and off at the moment. I'm very surprised by this. Very surprised. My biggest fear was losing momentum from the Queen's passing and the international breaks. Well, I think it was a genuine fear that everybody had, that it's so long since we played Arsenal. This referee's a bloody joke as well. An absolute joke. You're an idiot. I can't stand Michael Oliver as well. He's a terrible referee. As soon as I saw he was refereeing this game, I thought, oh no. We need possession and keep it like what they're doing, says Jasper. Look, you're never going to have a lot of possession against Man City. Just never going to have a lot of possession against Man City. But when you get possession, you've got to use possession. I mean, look at that. 75% for Manchester City so far. 4 shots. 2 on target. It's not good. It's far from good. It's good that McTominay started because now... What are we doing here? Another cross into the box. No one's attacking it. It's good that McTominay started because now he has a poor game. He has no excuse when he gets benched for Casemiro, says Marcus. Take Sancho off. His passing is crap. He doesn't challenge for any ball, doesn't press. And when he does get the ball, he gives it straight to City, says Sean Atwood. See what the stupid international break does, says Slow Sports News. It's not just the international break. We've not played for 4 weeks. Man City played before the international break, didn't they? I'm surprised they didn't give a foul for that. Right, Bruno, you've got to make the pass here. Kanji against Rashford, but Edison very clever off the line there. Wan-Bissaka's not on the bench. We can't bring him on. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're only about 20 away from 486,000. Thanks, everyone who's tuning in. It's been a bad start from Manchester United. You can't argue with being 1-0 down. They'd had 2 big chances before that, unfortunately, and they've taken it with a very clean goal. Take off McTominay for Casemiro, Sancho for Ronaldo, and put Rashford on the left, and maybe we'll have a chance to come back, says Ben Jr. Afternoon, Marcus. Ten Hag phoned Conte and asked for his tactics. Feels like I'm watching Arsenal-Tottenham. Yes. It's just a bloody nightmare to concede in the first 10 minutes, to be honest. An absolute no-no to concede so early in a game like this. And we're going to have to work really hard now because you're starting 1-0 down. And if Man City get another one, it's basically game over. So we're on thin ice now, and we've given ourselves a very, very difficult task. Malacia with a mistake there as well. Switch on! Switch on! If I'm Eric Ten Hag, I'm like, switch on! Switch on. They've not switched on at all. They're not a machine. They're a man. Exactly. $14 minutes. I mean, Man City aren't going to pick up any yellow cards because they're not having to play any bloody tackles here. Just give it, and again, the ball's just too hard by Delo into Bruno, and we're giving up possession all the time. Right, take a touch. Here we go. Just keep the ball a bit now. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, he's in. Sancho, take your time. Take your time, lad. Take your time. He's in the box. Got a bit of time. And ends up with nothing. The judges are out on Sancho. Just don't see the hype about him, says Gergo. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an early sub for Casemiro, says Jace. And any idea why some of our fans are piling in on Varane on Twitter? He did nothing wrong, says Jason. I think Varane's just another player that is easy to go for. I mean, I'm not going to look at Twitter then. I mean, Varane's going to be the new De Gea, isn't he? You know. What do they want? Maguire? Idiots. Idiots. Absolute idiots. This could be about... And also, Varane's job is to keep an eye on Haaland with Martinez. His job is not to pick up midfield runners. This could be about 4-0. City looking... United look very tired, says Connor. Nice ball over the top. Malacia does well to recover. You've got to get into that fucking Foden. He's shit for England. Comes alive for Man City. Come on, Rashford. Go on, chase it. Corner. Go on, chase it. Pass it. Go on, Rashford. That's a foul. Piss off, ref. You're a bloody home banker. You're a home banker, Oliver. Absolute joke. Connor thinks it could be 4-0 to City here. Where's the bloody passion? This is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Oh, foul on the edge of the box. Oh, what a surprise. It's Grealish. It's Jack Grealish taking a tumble on the edge of the box again. Oh, I'm really hurt. I'm really hurt. Was a foul, actually. It was a foul. Martinez. Look at the way he spins round and looks at the referee straight away. Bloody scummy club. Didn't even exist before 2008. Wouldn't even know who Sean Gota was if he walked past him in the street. Wouldn't have a bloody clue who Paul Dickoff was. We've done good with this team. Let's trust them. Hopefully they get themselves together. It's a shame. This free kick here is bang centre on the edge of the D. I'll be very surprised if they don't score from here. It's a wonderful position for a free kick. It's absolutely perfect. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne now, he'll be excited. He'll be very excited by this. Gundogan. Oh, he's at the outside of the post. We've got away with it there. We've definitely got away with it there. It's such a good position for a free kick. Round the wall, onto the post. De Gea was rooted to the spot. McTominay tried to do something about it. He's thudded the post. I tell you what, we're lucky to only be 1-0 down at the moment. Very lucky to be only 1-0 down. Casemiro in for his intelligence. McSauce doesn't have the adaptability. This reminds me of the time where Pep played without a striker. We fell apart as Cads. We're playing absolutely dreadful. It's so bad. We're lost out there. Absolutely lost. Man City, whatever you say, they're just on it. Absolutely on it. They're making us look really bad. It was always going to be a test for United, but this first 20 minutes, they're asleep. They're sleepwalking into a Manchester derby here. There's not a lack of efforts. It's not like last season. There's just a lack of quality. There's a lack of cohesion. There's a lack of concentration. De Bruyne, good interception by Martinez. Oh, who's that? Anthony, come on, wake up. You're in Manchester now, not Amsterdam. It's not sit back and out and relax time. Take your time. Take your time, Sancho. 1-2. Oh, come on, Marcus. Bloody little bit of care, little bit of attention with the ball. The passing's terrible as well. It's not just we're not picking up the runners. When we get the ball, it's overhitting passes. This is the Premier League. How can you not play a weighted pass in the Premier League? It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. All over the place. We're asleep. Here's Grealish again. Well, we might have to take Delo off. Oh my God. What are we doing? Foden nearly makes it 2. What are we doing? He's got to get Casemiro on. Get Casemiro on now. He's got to do it. It's absolutely shambles. He's got to do it. We're going to get hammered. It's too easy. It's too easy for City at the moment. It could be a massacre. They should be 2-0 up. 100% they should be 2-0 up. They're getting... They're just going to the byline and cutting back. And when you go into the byline and cutting back, that means the midfield aren't picking up the runners. We're not picking them up. Crossing the Channel says it should be 3 or 4-0. Foden, Gundogan, De Bruyne and Grealish are getting the run of the park. And I'm wondering, where's Scott McTominay? Where's Bruno Fernandes? Where's Christian Eriksen? What the fullbacks are doing? Martinez and Varane are just lambs to the slaughter. It's not their job to pick up those players. Their job's to deal with Haaland, not pick up the runners. And I tell you what, I'm shocked. Can I just shock you? I'm shocked because I didn't think this was possible under Ten Hag. I really didn't think it was that possible that we would come into a game like this and play this badly. It's dreadful. They're winning all the 50-50s. Their passing's better. We're losing. It's always about the midfield. Coco's revenge. It's always about the midfield. We are losing that midfield battle. Cannot get the midfield on the ball. What is that by McTominay? What are you doing, mate? What is he doing there? Completely ridiculous pass. What? McTominay and Dalot having a mare. They are. Unfortunately, they are. And they've been two of our better, most improved players this year. But they are. What's that by Rashford as well? What is Rashford doing there? And Malasia's getting booked. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Both fullbacks booked. What's wrong with them? What's wrong with them? I've got no idea. Answers on a postcard. What is wrong with us today? We fell asleep. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's unbelievable. I've seen relegation teams come to the Etihad and play better than this. Oh dear. Wow. You know what? We were worried. We were worried when after the Queen's passing, we didn't play for 4 weeks, whether we'd lose the momentum and the consistency. I think you can say safely that those concerns were genuine because we look like a bunch of strangers here. We look absolutely dreadful. The positional sense is terrible. The passing is terrible. The commitment is terrible. The consistency, the camaraderie that we had is terrible. Like a bunch of strangers. All over the place. It's way too easy. Haaland. Well done, Martinez. I'd say Martinez is the only player on the pitch who looks anywhere near like he looked before the international break. Mark Rashford's first touch and passing are terrible. Finishing is good at best, says Nickett. Does his pace really justify his inclusion? The precision in our passing isn't good enough. Too many mistakes, says Kizza. But we look nervous. We look panicked, which is really weird from Manchester United. We've got time, Mark. We have got time, team, but the problem is we deserve to be about 2-0 down. The game should be over. Man City have had the chances to kill us off. The worst part is that what England could look like with Grealish and Foden. Yeah, well, Southgate's crap, isn't it? We know that. That's from Gates. Thank you very much. We look intimidated by City. Nothing is fluent, says Jason. Well, Man City have played the perfect game. I mean, even Eriksen's having a crap game. I love Eriksen, but again, it's just another wasted ball. It's not just McTominay, Dalot. It's Bruno, it's Rashford, it's Eriksen, Malacia, Sancho. The passing is just absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. For a man, it's been a joke. You know it's bad when the Sky commentators are criticising McTominay's passing. We're looking to be 1-0 down, says Emily. Oh, they've got a corner here. Fred's got a better first touch than Rashford, says Lee. I mean, I would be considering a sub. You can make 5 subs. I know it's weird when you make subs before half time, but I would be considering it. It's like there's an inevitability to Man City scoring next. Why would you not change it? I'm scared for the possession stats to start coming out. Rashford gives that away, hands on his knees, then walks. Not one bit of effort to sprint back. Well, no, Malacia has been booked because of Rashford. That lazy pass means Malacia has to make a foul and take a yellow card. There's no credibility coming out of this game for United at the moment. We've got an hour to turn this around, but there's zero credibility. It's been an embarrassing performance, let's be honest. We just look... It's like somebody's put something in the water. We just look completely jaded. We look completely lost. Martinez was the only player that looked fired up pre-game. And funnily enough, Dale is the only player on the pitch who looks like he's playing well. Would you blow the whistle and take a 1-0? Well, I would, probably. But, you're never going to take a loss. I'm not going to take it. But I don't know whether it will get any better than 1-0. I think there's every chance it could get worse. What would you change, says Ray? I'd take Rashford off or put him on the wing. I'd get Martial on if he's fit. We've not mentioned Anthony. I forgot he was a Man United player. Yeah, we talk about Anthony. He's been absolutely dreadful. Invisible man. Just doesn't look anywhere near up to the pace of the Premier League, does he? Job says it's the defence taking the brunt of this, and let's be honest, it's the midfield that are losing the battle. Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Every chance Man City have had has been from midfield runners. They're interchanging. Bernardo Silva, Foden, Grealish, De Bruyne. They're changing all the time. Gundogan's breaking beyond ad. Even Gundogan's getting into the box. Another chance there. De Bruyne with the shot. And Grealish has got the perfect game now because Deleu's on a yellow card. So Deleu just can't commit. Like, I don't know what we've got on the bench fullback-wise, but Malacia's on a yellow card as well. We're screwed. Grealish is going to have a good game because whoever he plays at right back, he can have him on toast. This is the reason McTominay will never be United quality in good form, but can't make a pass to a red shirt. Not hating, he's just not good enough, says Minnie. Ultimately, I think everybody knew McTominay would end up on the bench at some point, and today has probably shown why you've got to start Casemiro because there's a difference. There's a very, very big difference. Bit of possession for Man United. The way United are going right now, this is going to be a demolition job, says Daniel Woods. Liverpool on my weekend ruiners again. Don't know how Scooby-Doo is managing to start, says Clem. Here's Anthony. Whips a cross in. Terrible. Why are people shocked? We're 1-0 down. Roller coaster season is expected. Lower expectations, says Alexander. I don't. Be nice to see Anthony and Sancho track back a bit, says Robert McCormack. I don't think anybody said that we couldn't lose this game. I just think that Casemiro's there with his head in his hands. I just think that it's... the level is abysmal. Maria says it perfectly well. I don't think anybody's bothered about Man United losing this game apart from the fact that we lose it. But if you lose it in the right way, that would be... Ben Foster's just said to me, mate, this looks like it's a pre-season friendly for them. 5-0 this could be. Exactly. Exactly. That's the thing that's disappointing, and Ben's exactly correct. It's the approach to the game. It's the lack of concentration. It's the lethargy. It's the lack of cohesion. It's the waste when we get the ball. Everything United are doing is wrong. I never thought I could see a combination of everything being wrong. And we're seeing it here. Jack Grealish into the box. There's a Man United player down. Good block by Martinez. Good block again. There's a Manchester United player down and Oliver is playing on. I cannot believe Michael Oliver is playing on. And then he blows the whistle. No, he doesn't. He's still playing on. What is he on with? Who is this ref? Who is this ref? He's absolutely atrocious. He's got no idea, has he? It's Varane who's gone down. Oh, God, no. Not Varane. Oh, God, it's bad to worse. It's bad to worse. If you collected all the bad things you thought could happen with this game, we're basically there. We're only 10 subscribers away from 487,000, so please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Thanks for tuning in. It don't look good for Varane here. Oh, it's like everything's going wrong here. Oh, the shot has hit Varane's foot and bent it back. I'm hoping he's all right. We need him to stay on. We can't afford Lindelof on. Maguire's not fit. All attention should be put onto the Glazers after this, as Ewan McKenzie. I think he's going to be all right. God, we don't need to lose Varane. McTominay is the worst passer of the ball that I've ever seen. London is red, and I hope Manchester is good. Is too, says Austin. Good cross into the box. Off the line. Oh, it's over the line. It's Erling Haaland. It's a massacre. It's a bloody massacre. What? Carragher's going to... I told you. It's Bilbo Baggins. I told you. Graham, get on Talk Sport tomorrow. I told you Martinez is Bilbo Baggins. Haaland was always going to be a problem with the goal. Piss off. Everything's going wrong. Carragher's having a party. It's Haaland up against McTominay, actually. Not his man. It's well over the line. 2-0. Fucking terrible. Who's meant to be marking him there? It's not Martinez. Eriksen is marking Haaland. What sort of nonsense is this? It's Eriksen and McTominay. They've had a bloody nightmare, that midfield. Absolute nightmare. Rubbish. That midfield has got the positional sense of a blindfolded slug trying to find a Mars bar at a Weight Watchers convention. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Can't believe how crap that midfield is. Oh, God. Eriksen against bloody Haaland on a corner. What a great idea that is. Rubbish. Well, it's game over now. Just sit back and watch the bloody demolition. There ain't no way. We're not even had a shot on goal. I dread to look at the stats. Too easy. And the one thing we picked McTominay for is height. And he's just been battered by Haaland on a corner. Fucking joke. Absolute joke. Only at Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo and Casemiro sitting on the bench for this dross, says Ty. I mean, McTominay's not even fucking got a yellow card. At least do a bit of a Scooby-Doo passion tackle. Long road back. It's a long road back. It's a massive wake-up call, isn't it? All the momentum, all the positivity. It's a long way back. We knew this. We did know this. We hoped. I'm sorry, Mark, but this is what you all deserve for thinking United are back. Nobody thought United were back, Bricktop, so you can jog on with that. Nobody thought we were back. I don't know where who makes up this nonsense? Man United fans think Man United are back. Who said we're back? It's just nonsense. Get in the real world, mate, with this flip-flop fucking social media bollocks. We're back. We're not bloody back. We know it's going to be a roller coaster. We just expect better performances in a Manchester derby. They've been a disgrace. The only player that's come out of this game with any credibility for Manchester United so far is Martinez. Eriksen's been crap. Anthony's been invisible. Delo's not been good. Malasia's not been good. McTominay's been terrible. Bruno's been shit. Rashford's been invisible. You expect something more than this in a derby, and they've bottled it. They've absolutely bottled it. These type of games, why I hate the winning team logic, says Myron. One man less with no Varane on that corner, says Arib. 3-0. Fucking hell, it's a massacre. It's an absolute massacre. 3-0 after 36 minutes. It's a massacre. It's a massacre. It's a joke. I can't believe it. It's an abs. And it comes from the midfield again. It's a massacre. It's like a bunch of Morris dancers playing hide and seek with some hungry lions. Jingle bells everywhere and massacre. Absolute massacre. I just can't believe how bad we are. I think Varane's going to have to come off. Just, where's the midfield? Where is the midfield? There's no midfield. He's just running through the midfield. De Bruyne, no one's marking him. Look at how much space De Bruyne's got here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Absolutely terrible. We're literally playing against Man City without a midfield. Unbelievable. I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned. Look at Pep jumping around. You've got no socks on, you prat. Ten Hag has been schooled. I'm sorry. Pep is the master. He's absolutely schooled him, I'm afraid. It's sometimes you've got to put your hands up. You've got to put your hands up. They've absolutely got this wrong. I don't know what the game plan was. You know, are we back to winning team pictures in training again? Awful. Rashford's been invisible. So has Anthony. So has Sancho. They've had nothing. But more importantly, the midfield has been unbelievably bad. If I was Casemiro, he will want to come on. Of course he will. We've had a shot on goal, everyone. 40 yards out from Bruno, and Edison just caught it with his eyes closed. My God. Anthony's carrying a knock, and United need this result to get rid of McTominay and Rashford, says Animish. Well, if Anthony's carrying a knock, why is he bloody playing? Bain says, you've got to be careful here, Mark. We're going to get an absolute pumping. Casemiro needs to be in this game. Might as well put Lindelof in for Varane too. Yeah, Varane will be coming off at half time. He's got a large part to play in that goal. But you can't give people like Kevin De Bruyne that much space. You can't. And I tell you what as well, I know a lot of people are going to hate this, but we've got a lot of work to do at this football club. Some of these players are not good enough and they don't have the mentality. It's a shame to say, but they don't. Some of them have let themselves down massively today. It's shocking. This team, Lindelof comes on for Varane. This team should only train passing for the rest of the season before even talking tactics, says Salim. Casemiro needs to be in this game, might as well. Yeah, well, Varane is on. Thank you very much for that. Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Walker's going off for Man City as well. Fucking 3-0 down in a derby. It's embarrassing, this. This shouldn't happen. It should not happen. This should not be happening in a Manchester derby. This should not be happening. There are no excuses. Haaland's got another 2 goals. Just devastating. Devastating. I don't know what to say, because if you don't turn up and you don't fail to prepare to fail. Simple as that. If you don't prepare, this is what's going to happen. Bruno, Scott and Eric just called. They want to know when the game starts, says Alec Miller. Pointless the front three being on the pitch. Nothing coming from the midfield, defending or attacking, says Emily Derry. I wonder if the game would be any different if they were no break. I suspect not, but maybe a bit tighter, says B. Yakov. Mull, thank you very much for the super chat. Keep rehabilitating youth players who aren't good enough and United will never go anywhere. Charity FC, says Alligator. Haaland hat-trick, I'm afraid, says Ronan. It's sickening. It's sickening to see him scoring goals. I mean, he's a fantastic player. I think we can all agree with that. But it's just sickening to watch. Absolutely sickening. Ronaldo's got his head in his hands. Casemiro don't look happy either. They're just so bad. Ronaldo's probably thinking, why am I here? Why am I on the bench or why am I even here? I mean, Eriksen's been terrible. Absolutely terrible. No one wants to put a tackle in either. Before here, Grealish. Fucking hell, it nearly was full. So glad the first United game I watched this season and we're 3-0 down. You're welcome, guys, says Brandon. De Gea just stands still and does nothing in all these goals. Shut up, Jar Jar. None of them are savable, mate. If you don't know anything about goalkeeping, I can't help you. You can't save any of those goals. Foden's is blasted into the roof of the net. Haaland's is on the back post into the bottom corner. And the header is point blank. You can't do anything about those. If you manage to get in the way of them and you save them, it's pure luck. They're not goalkeeper saves, they're not. We did better with Arsenal. There's still a chance, says Mull. Right, here's Rashford down the left-hand side. Just the passing's terrible again. The ball breaks down again. We've literally got no midfield. It's 4-0. It's 4-0. I can't believe it. Wake me up before you go. It's wham. What's it? Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I can't. 4-0 on the 43rd minute. What is going on at this fucking football club? I can't believe it, mate. I can't believe it. 4-0. 4-0. I can't believe it. That midfield just doesn't exist. Put a search party out. Get those milk bottles out and put on the side of it McTominay and Eriksen. What are they doing? It's just unbelievable. Haaland's got an assist now. That cross is unbelievable. Look at this cross from Haaland. Fucking rubbish. Absolute rubbish. I'm just... They've run all over us. They've destroyed us. They've run all over us like a big shire horse running over flowers and then going back and doing a big turd on them as well. It's terrible. Actually, not a turd because that's good on flowers. It'll make them grow back. A big horse piss all over the flowers they've just run through. Big shire horse running through flowers, tearing them up with his hooves and then doing a big piss on it as well. Unbelievable. 4-0. What did I say at the start of the game? I can't see us losing this by many goals. We look too focused. I could not see this coming. Nobody could. Nobody could see this coming. Man City fans could probably see it coming because they're smug, oil-drinking, bloody fantasists with their mummy's credit card. Bloody dick off and go to... Well, I mean, they won't even know who they were. But there's no excuses for this. 4-0. I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. We got to be really careful here. This could be like the biggest ever scoreline in a derby. This could be the Premier League battering. Manager thinks he's better than he is, says Robert McCormack. I'm sorry, this is on Ten Hag. How McTominay stayed on the pitch after 20 minutes is a disgrace. Yeah, I agree. I tell you what, I struggle to think of a United performance this bad. And we've got a catalogue, an absolute catalogue. Dear me. I can't believe we're doing this again. I can't believe we're back doing this again. United fans are leaving. I can't believe we're back doing this again. And I know there'll be like rival fans reveling in this, but you would never have seen this coming. We played well. Defensively, we've played really, really well. But I've always said this. People who don't understand the game will start going on Martinez and Varane and Delot and Malacia and De Gea. You cannot stop goals as a back five if the midfield aren't doing their job. And that midfield, I'll tell you now, you can clip it. I've watched loads of football, and anyone who knows football will say Man United have lost this game because McTominay and Eriksen have been pure and utter shit. They've absolutely been dominated. I could have played in that midfield and not done a worse job. And I genuinely believe that. They've been invisible. Invisible. That is humiliation. 4-0 down in a Manchester derby. That happens for a reason. You can applaud Manchester City, but I don't think they've done anything that hard. They'll go into there and they'll say to Pep Guardiola, I can't believe how shit Manchester United are. That's what they'll say. I can't believe how bad that side is. They won't, we're sponsored by Sneak. You can get 10% off with the code SNEAKBRIDGE delivered to your door. Sugar-free, low-calorie energy drinks, right? If I went into that dressing room and said, anyone need a bit of energy? They'd go, I don't even need any water, Goldbridge. I've barely broken sweat. I've had a harder bath. I've had a harder shower than that. Absolute. Man City will be as stunned as we are. They'll be like, I can't believe how bad Manchester United are. Gundogan, they're doing this without Rodri, by the way. Gundogan, Silva, Grealish, Foden and De Bruyne, they'll just be going, it's easy. Easy. They'll be in the dressing room going, easy, easy. I cannot bring myself to watch these highlights because I know exactly what's happened on every single goal. That midfield is unbelievably bad. And look, this is the problem, right? You praise people like Scott McTominay, and then he goes into a game like this and exposes exactly why he's not good enough. You can run the midfield against Ukraine for Scotland and play some nice passes, but you are, I said this before the game, what McTominay did against Liverpool and Arsenal was good, but if he doesn't have a good game today, it doesn't matter because this is where we want to be. This is where we want to be. I don't want to grind out results against Arsenal and Liverpool. I want to be credible against Man City. Credibility. It's impossible to be credible when you've got a midfield that is just basically just not turned up. They haven't turned up. They've been absolutely nowhere. I mean, I'm looking at what goal was it? Was it the third goal or the fourth goal? I think it's Bernardo Silva or De Bruyne. They picked the ball up in the centre circle. And they've got 20 metres of space in front of them. And we're 3-0 down. We're at the Etihad. Why is the midfield nowhere? We've not had an attack in the game. How can we be attacking? Where are you? Where have you gone? It's unbelievable how bad that midfield is. And I've got to say this, and this is going to hurt because I really do like this manager. You can make 5 subs, mate. You can make 5 subs. You should have made one on 20 minutes. What did we say at 1-0? This might be as good as it gets. It's 4-0 at half time. That was preventable. They should have been a substitution at 20 minutes. We were lucky not to be 2-0 down when they scored their first goal. We were lucky not to be 3-0 down when it was 1-0. It's 4-0. It could have been 6. He should have made a change. It was very obvious that midfield was nowhere to be found. He should have made a change. Casemiro should have started. Yeah, he should have started, but you've got to respect the manager's decision. He should have started, but he should have come on for 20 minutes. Managers need to figure this out quickly. You've got 5 subs. Make the fucking subs. Casemiro should have come on. McTominay was dreadful. Eriksen was dreadful. To be honest with you, I would have brought Casemiro and Fred on. I mean, that might be a bit out of the box for people, but I love Eriksen. He's just won Player of the Month. Call it what it is. ladies and gentlemen. He was a shambles in that game. He looks like he's tired out. He looks like he's run the London Marathon. In fact, most of the team does. Where's the backtracking from Sancho and Anthony, by the way? Mate, you're not playing as a winger today. You're playing Man City. We're getting stuffed. Get back and support your fucking fullback, mate. Forget attacking. That's not happening. Get back. Where's the work rate in that midfield? Nothing. Rashford doesn't look fit. His passing's terrible. We've got 2 fullbacks on yellow cards. I'm worried about this second half. I'm actually here now going, please get the memo to Pep Guardiola. Take your foot off the pedal. It's Eric. Forget Man United. Eric Ten Hag. He loves you. He used to be a reserve team coach at Bayern Munich. Eric, go and knock on the door with puppy dog eyes and say, please, Pep, don't smash me anymore. We're already dead. Because I'm telling you, this could be 6, 7, 8. Like, we're not changing this. We are absolutely dead on our feet, and I can't understand why. This is on the Glazers and the board mark, says DJ. Massive mistake not playing Casemiro against Haaland, says Friedman. Now we get to see if this team will down tools in the second half, says Will. I tell you what, if you're Cristiano Ronaldo, Luke Shaw, Casemiro, Harry Maguire, and anybody else, you're probably sat there, not very happy, but deep down going, at least it's not me getting all the shit. My friend is spamming Eric Ten Hag is at the wheel in my DMs, says Sylvie. That lack of fight and hunger is appalling. City chases after every ball, says John. Can't wait for all these pundits' ideas to say Scotty's got credit in the bank, says Alex Lee. I think the biggest thing for me, really, is the complete and utter lack of effort from Manchester United from minute one. I think that's the thing that I've got to say. The passing's been dreadful. The marking's been dreadful. The intensity's been dreadful. I mean, why is Christian Eriksen marking Erling Haaland on a corner as well? It's just a freebie. It's a freebie. That is just terrible. We don't need to see GDS. Haaland, it's way over the line. Way over the line. And everybody could see that. So I just think from start to finish, it's been absolutely abysmal. And if we look at this is the thing I wanted to talk about. Look at that. How have we got that down to 62% possession? 15 shots to 3, 7 shots to 2, 276 passes, 89% possession pass success rate. They've made more fouls than us. They have obliterated us in virtually every single area. It is an embarrassment, an absolute embarrassment. And people can start on with Glazers out. If you're not Glazers out, where have you been? Like, Glazers out shouldn't. If we're winning 4-0, you should be Glazers out. Don't start to me about Glazers out. That's separate. Glazers out should be Glazers out whether we're winning, losing or not. That's disgusting by the players. I'm sorry. And we've been praising these players for weeks. They've got to take absolute long, hard looks at themselves. And Eric Ten Hag's got to take a look at himself as well. Because I tell you what, you got stuffed by Brentford and the knives are out. You responded really well. The knives are going to come out massively now because when you've responded, you don't expect to go back. If you're a boxer and you go into the ring and you're lazy and you get sparked out, you don't let that happen again. You fight back, it doesn't happen again. If you get knocked out again, people are going to go, right, there's a mentality issue here. There's a consistency issue here. We've always had a consistency issue at Manchester United and it still remains. Why is this happening again? Why are we 4-0 down at half-time again? We were 4-0 down 6 weeks ago against Brentford and we're 4-0 down again. Yeah, Man City are a better team, but there is no mentality in that team. From the first minute, they weren't ready. They weren't ready. And somebody somewhere, whether it's Eric Ten Hag, Van der Gaag, McLaren, Rashford, Varane, De Gea, whatever, collectively, they've got to look at that and say, how have we walked into this? Like rabbits in the bloody headlight. Unbelievable. It seems like only Bruno and Martinez have shown up today, says Paul. Might as well hand Man City the Premier League now. There aren't any contenders, says WSD. I disagree. I disagree. I actually think Bournemouth would come and do a better job than we have today. Man City are a fantastic side, but Man United, God, don't be blinded by how good Man City are. We have been an absolute shambles. Like, nobody could play as bad as we have that half. Man City, I'm telling you now, if dressing rooms could talk, and Pep could talk at half-time, honestly, he would say, I can't believe how easy that is. Put Harry Pinero on, says on. You've got to give Malacia credit. He's the only one player that had a great match. We should get Case on now. I don't think Malacia's had a good game, DNDK. One of the goals is his fault on the back post. Matthew, welcome to the members club. Haaland and Foden are getting on my nerves. Get Roy Keane out of retirement, says Dean. Mate, they should be getting on your nerves. It really gets on my nerves as well because it's a pride thing. It really is hard to watch. Let's just accept the fact that we are not good enough to play against Man City. Mate, Abhishek, listen to me and listen good. It's got nothing to do with being good enough to play against Man City. We play like that next week against Everton. We'll be 3-0 down as well. It's the same thing. Can anyone contain Haaland to CLG? Mate, come on. I'm all for giving Man City praise, but we've been dreadful. Let's not pretend you're giving our lads too much credit. Let's not pretend Man City have played the perfect game. We've been architects of our own downfall. We've been absolutely dreadful. I think it's another Brentford for some reason. It's a big worry when you see the lack of effort in a derby, Mark, says Michael. I know, I can't put my head on it. I can't stand Eric Ten Hag making the same mistakes again and again, says Raj. This is on the Glazers and the board, Mark. We've had that from DJ. Thank you very much. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. I have got no idea what's going to happen in this second half. Part of me just wants to switch it off, but you know what? We don't do that. We don't back down. We've got to come out and put a bit of pride in now. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're only 400 away from 490,000. So thanks everyone who's getting involved. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. And don't forget the QR code in the bottom right-hand corner or in the video description. We are sponsored by Sneak Energy. Man United could do with some of this. Their new red metal shakers out. You can get delivered to your door. The starter pack where you get a container and 9 different sachets delivered to your door. Low-calorie energy drinks, blue raspberry, cherry bomb, Tropicilla, purple storm. Lovely flavours delivered to your door. The first 200 who use the code SNEAKBRIDGE get 10% off. Check it out through the link in the description. Do you think he'll make any subs at half time, says Kelvin? I was dreading this question. Absolutely dreading this question. Ronaldo and Casemiro need to get on, says Kelvin. This team is still emotionally scarred from last season, says the Riddler. They're scared. Are you worried about Varane's injury, says Oliver? Yep. TG, welcome to Members Club. Yep, I am worried about Varane's injury because the minute you lose Varane, you lose that Martinez-Varane partnership, which hasn't been great today, but it's still better than anything that we've got. So, yeah, you do just fear for us, don't you? You fear for us. The goal difference is terrible now as well. But my big issue with us making substitutions is that if we make substitutions, what are you doing to Casemiro? What are you doing to Ronaldo? Is it good for them to come on? Is it bad for them to come on? Should they be responsible? I think that in a way, what you need to see happening is you need to see some pride in the shirt. I mean, Casemiro will want to come on. I'm sure he will come on. He should have come on 20 minutes before. But look, my big concern here is how many we might lose by. That's what concerns me the most. There's an opportunity there for Manchester City to go and, dare I say it, get 7 or 8 goals, and that should never be happening in the Manchester derby. But the momentum of Manchester City, I don't think they've had to work. I think if you describe a team of being in 5th gear as being playing to their absolute limit, I would say Manchester City at the moment are somewhere around gear 3. I think they've got gears to go up. Sam says, I'm confused by the tactics. Front line is pressing, but midfield and back 4 are laying back, creating a massive gap in the midfield, says Sam. Yeah, I think you make a great point there. The space in the midfield and the tactics have been unbelievable. The goals that Man City have scored, all right, one was a corner, the first one was a cutback, but the 2 goals, was it goal 3 and 4? They're actually hitting us on the break. They're actually hitting us on the break, and I'm like, how are we getting caught on the break when we've not been attacking? I don't know about what happens. I'm usually optimistic, but there's no way we're going to bounce back from this, says Lit. Haaland hat-trick guaranteed. We don't have anything to offer in midfield, says George. Casemiro on and tried to control the damage, says Antonio. Hi, Mark. They're not even trying to tackle City, says Shane. What would I do at half-time? Honestly, I'd be losing my shit. I wouldn't take responsibility for that, even though we know that Ten Hag's to blame because he's the manager. I wouldn't take responsibility. I'd be tearing into them. I'd have already told Casemiro he was coming on. I'd get Fred on as well. I'd take Eriksen and McTominay off because they've got to learn that that's not acceptable. I'd bring Fred and Casemiro on. I'd sit them in as a midfield two. I'd tell them to be tenacious and just protect that back four. We don't concede another goal. I'd probably get Martial on for Rashford as well. I don't think maybe you could take Sancho off and put Rashford on the left. So Martial, Fred and Casemiro come on. Let's protect that back four better. And let's try and hold the ball up better up front, because we've defended badly. The midfield's been invisible, but when we've had the ball, the passing has been atrocious. I mean, Rashford got Malacia booked. There was that pass from McTominay as well, where he turns and whacks it straight to a Man City player. It's been confusingly bad. It's been like a time warp. I expect someone to start dancing soon. Let's do the time warp again. It's like that. It's like a time warp. It's like we're back last season. This is arguably worse than we were at the Etihad last season. I'm genuinely, I'm not happy, but I'm genuinely surprised. I could not have sat here on. There was many ways I could have done a preview this week. There's many times I've spoken about Man City. I was on TalkSport last night. Never in my wildest dreams would I have said we'll be 4-0 down at half time. Never. We are, and we deserve to be, but never. So he's brought Luke Shaw on. He's having a fucking laugh. Luke Shaw is the only sub we're making. Hopefully Eric Ten Hag subs people off for next game, says Cabs. What? Luke Shaw, the only sub? But I'm baffled by that as well. It defies belief. Did he not? You know, if you want to, please go ahead and clip this. Terry Ten Hag. He may as well be Terry Ten Hag. He's not. It must be his long lost Pratt brother. Eric Ten Hag clearly did not want to sign Casemiro. It's becoming very, very obvious that he did not want to sign Casemiro. He should have brought him on with 20 minutes gone. And then at half time, after our worst midfield performance, I mean, an invisible midfield performance, he doesn't change the midfield. I don't get it. Are we trying to get stuffed? Well, we already are. We're like a Christmas turkey saying, put some more stuffing in. So it could have been 5. De Gea with a save early on. The midfield's just not there. Where is it? Oh, this is going to be a long half. Fasten your seatbelts. In fact, take your seatbelts off and run. This is going to be horrible. So Luke Shaw's on for Malacia. How does Malacia get taken? One of you at half time said Malacia was having a good game. Player ratings is going to be interesting. How do you take Malacia off and keep McTominay and Eriksen on? I don't get it. I don't get that at all. He clearly did not want Casemiro, did he? Clearly didn't. Oh, so many notes to take here. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. It's going to be an interesting season watching Manchester United on the United Stand. Live every night at 8 o'clock. Got the fan forum after this. Match reaction with the player ratings. Live every morning at 10 o'clock. Lindelof's on. We've used 2 subs. Yes. He's making these players responsible for their own crap. Game's over a long time ago. No way we're coming back, says Mario Franco. Yeah, but he's brought Luke Shaw on. I mean, actually, you make a good point there. There may be a very good point there of why bother putting Casemiro and Ronaldo on. It's not their fault. Bring them on for half an hour. Will there be a chart show this week? Well, it's next Saturday, isn't it? Anyway, good news about the energy drinks, says James Clough. Yeah, get 10% off. Scan the QR code. Get yourself some energy drinks. I need some bloody... I need more than Cherry Bomb. Cherry Brandy, please. Game was over at 1-0, Martin. Even if you didn't want Casemiro, it's Casemiro, says Sharath Kamath. I think that I've got to say this, and I've got to be fair. I challenge any Manchester United fan not to be disgusted by this. And I'm 100% behind the manager. I want Ten Hag to do well, but he has been smashed twice at half-time, 4-0 now. Brentford and Manchester City. And people like Solskjaer may well be sat at home going, you know what, Ten Hag's this new genius. I was never 4-0 down once at half-time, let alone, I think he was, but you know what I mean. So you've got to be critical of a manager because he's made mistakes. He has made mistakes. That doesn't mean that you don't think he's good enough. We've got to stick with the manager, and he is a good manager, but he has got things wrong. I said in my preview that Casemiro's got to start this game. You've got a player that's arguably man of the match in the Champions League final 4 months ago, and you're going to the Etihad and you need to defend well. Why would you not pick Casemiro? So I would have picked Casemiro, but I also said he probably won't, and we've got to back that because he's going to stick with McTominay, who's been in form. He could have dropped Eriksen as well, so it's not just McTominay. The manager's got it wrong. He's got things right. He's got things wrong. I don't have a problem with him picking McTominay, and I didn't moan about the team, but I would have picked Casemiro. And it couldn't have been any worse with Casemiro. So obviously, if you said you would have picked Casemiro, you're right. And you're right over the manager because it simply couldn't be any worse with Casemiro starting the game over McTominay or Eriksen. So yeah, he should have started, but I can't moan about the starting lineup. It was what I expected him to do. Those players should be performing better. I'm convinced Scott has some dirt on the club, says Nog. How the hell is Casemiro not on, says Mo. Ten Hag playing it smart and saving players for the next match, says Josh. Has he been ordered to play McTominay, says Red Devil Slang. And I'm very confused, says Nickette. Why is this stubbornness all about? Does he realise we can get thrashed? Says Nickette. We've already been thrashed, haven't we? No, he's not being forced to pick McTominay. He's not being forced to pick Rashford. I think he's learning why those players get criticised a lot. The biggest problem with Man United is, there's a centre-back running through the midfield here. Akanji's just ran through Bruno, Rashford and Sancho. Another corner for them here. The big thing about Manchester United is, and any United fan would observe this, and any rival fan would observe this, the big problem with Manchester United is that consistency is the problem. We are capable of beating an Arsenal or a Manchester City or a Chelsea or a Liverpool. But we're also capable of this. We're also capable of getting smashed by Brighton or Leicester or Brentford. We're so inconsistent. It's really, really difficult to get your head around, really. Yeah, I don't want it. I genuinely don't want it, and I am Glazers out. I am, but I don't want to hear about Glazers out because that's just an excuse for this shit. We've spent 100 million euros on Anthony. I can't. 100 million euros we spent on Anthony, and he's been invisible. Sancho cost 75 million. Marcus Rashford's this amazing player. He's been quiet. Bruno Fernandes, 60 million. Crap. Eriksen's not been very good. We're all talking about what a great free agent. He's not been good. McTominay's been crap. Delo's been crap. I like a lot of those players, but you got to call it out for what it is. They've been. It's nothing to do with the Glazers. Players haven't turned up today. If all these players had played like they did against Arsenal, we wouldn't be 4-0 down. Why have they not done that? City, a team of players who get sold if they cross the manager. United aren't, says James Clough. Watch out, McTominay's hiding again, says Lee Taylor. We've just got to take a hit on this one. It's still not the United we will become. We will get caught out, says Legendary. I fully expect us to lose games this season, but losing this game in the way that we've lost it is very disappointing. We spoke about it. We easily could have lost this game by playing well because Man City are a good side, but Losing it by playing like this, that's the disappointment. Someone's got to go with Haaland here. He's making that run. I might be being cynical, but I think Scott is shying away from getting stuck in because he knows he's one more booking and he's suspended. Yeah, where's the tackle, Joshua? Yeah. If you want to see improvements in this team, then change the play style. If we keep on doing this counter-attack, I don't see any improvements, says Raj. Thanks for your super chats today, by the way, and thanks everyone who's tuning in. I mean, fortunately, we've had 8 minutes without Man City scoring. I'm wondering if actually Pep Guardiola has said to them, look, we've won this game. I don't think he's taking it easy. I just think he's going, let's just play the game. Let's not pick up any injuries. The hardest part for anybody, whether you're a Spurs fan yesterday or you're a Liverpool fan or you're a United fan, the hardest thing as a fan is watching your team play in a game like this and know that they've not given what you would give and again, just not turn up. That's the hardest thing for any football fan. You can forgive losing, you can forgive bad refereeing decisions and just, put it down as frustrating, but you cannot forgive not turning up. And that's the hard thing. They're just not turned up. And, Man City are a juggernaut, aren't they? They're funded by oil. They're not a real club. They are basically mummy's credit card. They're doing it on a cheat code. And look, fair play to Man City. Man United fans would love it. We would love the owners that you've got, where you can just basically spend money on and focus on being a football team. Man City ain't stopping, are they? They are funded by oil. They are pot luck. They've won the lottery. But there is a praise point coming in. They've recruited Pep Guardiola, who's an obsessive, and he's recruited players who don't play like mercenaries. Man City could easily have failed and just bought mercenaries, but they bought players who, I mean, come on. Kevin De Bruyne didn't go to school dreaming about Paul Dickoff, did he? Or Sean Gota. I doubt he even knew Man City existed, but he plays for Man City like it matters. Good goal by Anthony. Out of the blue. It's a hit. It's a good goal. It's a moment. It's a goal for Manchester United. I don't think it's going to be a comeback, but what a hit by Anthony. Bit of positivity here. Well, there's a goal back. I can't really get too excited because it won't mean anything, but it's a bloody good goal. A very, very good goal. Just runs up to the edge of the box and hits it. It's a very good goal. It's a very, very good goal. The comeback starts here. It's all part of the plan. We want them to fall into a sense of security. Let them switch off and then bang, 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 bang. We're coming back now. Rocky Balboa time. 4-1. We've still got 35 minutes here. Come on, lads. It's comeback time. I don't think it is, but might just get them going a little bit. It helps the goal difference. Comeback Kings. It's a bloody good goal by Anthony. Probably going to win our goal of the month. Can we never hear again McTominay can be part of anything good? He's absolutely poor, says Brad Lewis. Here's Luke Shaw down the left. Tell you what, if we got another one back, it would make it interesting. I'm not getting there yet. God, no, don't. Just when I was out, they put me back in. But one more goal for United. I mean, we're assuming that Man City are going to stop attacking and peppering our goal. And it was a goal out of nothing. It wasn't a team goal. But you never know. Rashford's still looking at the player of the month. It's Ten Hag's first season. Be patient, says Tashi. I'd take 4-1. I'd get Casemiro on now. You know, because there's a little bit of positivity. If Martinez gets booked to win £300, says Lewis. Oh, Casemiro's coming on for Martial. Good, good. So Rashford off for Martial. I tell you what, we've got absolutely nothing right today. But what did I say? Rashford will play for around an hour and Martial will come on. I knew it. I can read Ten Hag like a book. Casemiro's coming on for McTominay. Yeah, right decision. Scooby-Doo. He's not had a very good game, Scooby-Doo. He's not been very good at all. So, Martial on for Rashford and Casemiro on for McTominay. You could almost argue that that's our best 11 now. Obviously, Lindelof's playing centre-back, but you know what I mean. McTominay's off, Slow Sports News. Don't worry about it. No place for Ronaldo. I don't think Ronaldo's basically third choice striker now, isn't he? I just thought about that, yeah. Oh, bad pass by Martinez. I mean, the player ratings are going to be very interesting. You can start voting for them when we open it up on the website in about 10 minutes. But I don't think Martinez has been bad. Oh, God. Who's Casemiro there? What's he doing? Take out Sancho, put Ronaldo on. Give me some sneak. Piggy says, how's the revolution going at Manchester United? Yeah, well, it was going very, very well. United fans mostly left stadium. I hope the foreign players don't get scapegoated in the headlines tomorrow. Tactics wrong or right today. Glazers out, says Kiffy. It's head tennis in the box at the moment, but it's Man United's box. Welcome to the Members Club, Shay. Thank you very much for joining. Pete has been a member for 14 months and says we've spent as much, if not more, than City. The difference is the player and desire of the club to be a football club and not a cash machine. Man United fans have mostly left the stadium. I hope the foreign players don't get scapegoated. Well, the funny thing is, they'll be desperate. There's no positives about today, apart from, Anthony's goal was good, but it's a consolation goal, isn't it? We've been embarrassed, but actually, Martinez is probably our man of the match. And idiot experts will say, I told you, I've played the game. I told you, Martinez is too small to play in the Premier League. I've played the game. I'm telling you, I've played the game. And Martinez is too small. But Martinez has been at fault for no goal. Martinez is probably, for me, he's the only player that comes out of this game with any credibility. But they'll try and make out that, it's his fault. Because they've been trying to have a pop at him for ages. It will be interesting to see how we bounce back next game to see if the team's mentality has improved. Everton next Sunday. Daniel, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Half an hour to go. 4-1. Pete, thanks for the super chat. Things at Man United went wrong when we signed Alexis Sanchez. Not his fault, but now that we are playing like this, I'm having a lot of time to think, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. I mean, look, I'll have to start thinking ahead to my match reaction soon, but games are won and lost in the midfield, of course they are. And we didn't just lose the midfield battle. We conceded. We went out with white flags. We spoke about this last season. You cannot. I don't know. It's difficult when you're a manager. It's difficult when you're a manager because you sometimes just think, I'll leave it for 5 minutes, but he should have made changes after 20 minutes. Pebble says, does this result change our January transfer window? Is Haaland again? Good shot into the side netting. Would like to hear how Ten Hag justifies that Ronaldo and Casemiro can't start after he said the players need to be up to speed. Never benched for 2 games. Above. You fans need to stop comparing Martinez to Van Dijk and other great defenders. At least allow him to prove himself, says Eaton. I've not heard anybody compare Martinez to Van Dijk again. It's this idiot mentality that apparently United fans have said we're back when we haven't. I think Man United fans, including myself, have said we've been very encouraged by the organisation and charisma of the 4-game winning run in the Premier League, but this was always going to be a big test and we failed it. And Manchester United fans in general were always very nervous of consistency issues, and we have struggled for consistency again, and it's 5-1. 5-1. Haaland hat-trick. He's a machine. He's got a hat-trick against Manchester United, and it's absolutely embarrassing. There's Alf-Inge Haaland. You can't react and rant, can you? What you're supposed to do, it's not a surprise anymore. I'm just watching the goal back again. Grealish. Overlap. No. Into De Bruyne. Back to that. Oh, it's terrible. It's just so easy. It's just so easy for Man City here. De Bruyne. I cannot get my head around it. I really can't. It's just absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. I don't even know. I don't even know where to start anymore. I don't know what to say anymore. What can you say? They're looking at VAR. They don't deserve to have it chalked off. Just the mentality is just completely wrong, isn't it? I'm out of it. The midfield's just been a joke. I think Christian Eriksen, I wouldn't even give him a 3. He'll probably get a 6 in the player ratings from you lot, because it'll be a sympathy vote because he's played so well and he's player of the month. I wouldn't give Christian Eriksen a 3. You think back to games last season when people were going in on Fred and McTominay and Maguire. I really hope there's some consistency today, because it's about individual player performance on the day. Doesn't matter whether you've won player of the month. Like, look at this. This Poznan thing that they're doing. They love it, don't they? Absolutely love it. But I think what's that from Bruno as well? I think Eriksen's been a shambles. Shambles. McTominay's been a shambles. Bruno's been a shambles. Sancho's been a shambles. I mean, Anthony's been a shambles. I know he scored a good goal, but that's got to be the shittest. I know Man City have got every right to be very happy, but I've always felt that the Poznan is the shittest celebration in the world. And yeah, I'm salty. You could put me on your chips, but I think it's a shit celebration. Really do. People putting their arms around each other and turning the other way to jump up and down. You got to really try and assess your life a little bit. Has Casemiro even touched the ball yet, says Joe. What's needed, Mark? What and who to turn to, says Dan. Ashton. I'm so lost for words because I didn't really expect it. I didn't think we were capable of this type of a performance, and we're just not good enough. Just not good enough. I don't understand why no one is making Haaland when he's such an obvious target for the final ball, says Salim. What's needed, Mark, says Deanne. Nothing excuses this. 5-1 is unforgivable. Midfield needs to be looked at, says Alfie Smith. games are won and lost in the midfield, and yet again we've got a midfield that's just not up to it. That Ericsson and McTominay too got absolutely exposed today. You know, can Ericsson actually play in a midfield too? Is he quick and physical enough? You've got to look at that now, because today he's been run all over like a rabbit in the headlights. And McTominay, we know about his weaknesses. We know what he can do. We know what he can't do. But Ericsson has been a disgrace today in a footballing performance, just the same as he was at Brentford. I don't know whether Pep watched that game and thought we can get at Ericsson, because I mean, they haven't even got Rodri playing as well. They're missing their, you know, one of their better players. Here's Anthony. Doesn't get the free kick. Maybe gets them spending in January. No, Chris, that won't get them spending in January. City started inflating the market, so of course over time they spend is less than ours, but their recruitment has been much better anyway, says Vag. I wonder how everyone will pin this on Maguire, says Mohammed. Oh, great, Mohammed. Brilliant point. Absolutely superb. Why are you talking about Harry Maguire? Are you the founding member of the fucking irrelevant fan club? What's Maguire got to do with this? No one's talked about Maguire. No one's blaming Maguire. No one's talking about Maguire apart from the English press. What are you talking about? Nobody's mentioned him. Grow up. I'm fed up of people trying to find excuses for the fact that that team is a bloody embarrassment today. And running through the club, it's an embarrassment. Sancho for Fred. I mean, Sancho's going to get pelters again, isn't he? I think we're just fed up of being here. Fed up of being in this situation. It's the inconsistency that kills, and it's the hope that kills. Like, no United fan in their wildest dreams would have predicted we'd get turned over 5-1 and play this badly. Erik ten Hag's after-match press conference, well, reaction is going to be very interesting as well, because he's been stuffed twice now, and he's only managed... How many games have we had in the Premier League? Ronaldo just sat there looking sad. 7 games, 8 games now. So he's been smashed twice in 8 games. Still 20 minutes to go here. Let's have a look at the Premier League. Even though I've actually got one I could put on the screen. Just can't be asked. So we will have played... is that as it stands? Oh no, we've only played 7 games. Played 7 games. Won 4, lost 3. Smashed twice. He's offside, Foden there. No, he's giving it. He's giving it. It's 6-1. I thought he was offside. 6-1. Looked offside to me. VAR may help us. Does it really matter? He looked miles offside, to be honest. But, I mean, how are we ending up in a 3v3 situation? And why is Ericsson still on the pitch? Oh, he's miles on. Miles on. Absolutely miles on. It is 6-1. God. Let it end. Please let it end. 6-1. I hate Man City. I absolutely hate Man City. Why are we checking for an offside? It's not offside. Ball's not going to be out of play either. Just give him the goal and get it over with. Just get it on with it. Get on with it. I can't stand Man City. I can't. And I know Man City fans are going to revel in this, but I cannot stand Manchester City. I mean, they're just a cheat code club. And we're terrible. I've got to take the medicine. We're terrible. But there's nothing credible about Manchester City. There's nothing credible. They're just a billionaire's play toy. They're just a cheat code. They're FIFA with a cheat code. They are mummy's credit card on Ultimate Team. You know, when you turn it on and you play someone and they've got all the good players. That's what Man City are. They're just a cheat code. They are a cheat code. But we've been terrible today. I very much doubt when Pep Guardiola retired from football in 2005 and thought, where do I see my future? I very much doubt he looked at Man City, who just won the Thomas Cook Trophy with Stuart Pearce in charge and Darius Vassell as their top scorer, and thought, that's where I want to end up. I want to start off at Barcelona and sort of bring in this amazing style of football. Then I'll go to Bayern Munich and then I'll fulfill my dream by spending 6 years at Manchester City. I'm sure if you said to Pep Guardiola, what was it attracted you to managing the billionaire-owned Manchester City, you get your answer in that sentence. But I am ridiculously bitter. But I also think Man City are a cheat code. And fair play if you're a Man City fan, you're living the dream. But I don't find it very credible. I don't. And I know that means absolutely nothing to nobody. But I've got to let it out there. When I play FIFA Ultimate Team and I play Mummy's credit card, I'll say it. And when we're playing Man City and getting absolutely humiliated, I will say there's not a lot of credibility to a team that's basically just playing football with a bloody open checkbook. God, I'm bitter. I'm gonna have a pint. I need a pint of bitter because God, I am bitter. But there's no excuse to Manchester United either. There's no excuse. It's not like we haven't spent £1 billion in the last 10 years. I mean, I wouldn't believe you if you told me we'd spent more than £30 million on any player on that pitch. I just would not believe you. This is good. This will be this is what I'm scared of now. This could be 10. They could get another 2 or 3 late on. Oh God. Fred just came on and loses the ball, starts walking. Him and Rashford sell them, says Jack. Been loyal to Man United, give you a bench time. Ronaldo probably regret coming back to Manchester United as unruly. What's the difference between Man City and the class of 92, says Tom Best. I don't see what people see in Sancho. What does he offer, says YUFC. And sorry, mate, but you expected anything else than this. I told you after Arsenal United that Ollie's shadow is still at Old Trafford. You overrate your own players, says Nelly. Delo is absolutely awful. Luke Shaw showing why he doesn't start. Ericsson letting players run off him for goals. Martial and Rashford for striker options. We're miles off being a top team, says Sean Turner. God, I feel really fed up. I'm gonna have to go to the pub. I'm fed up. I'm so fed up. I've got to just to take my mind off it. I've got to get the player ratings. This is going to be hilarious on the match reaction. Let's get player ratings. Oh God, I've got to do the football fill-in tomorrow as well with Ben Foster. That's going to be great. Absolutely great. Please don't have it. Please, hopefully they'll have a United fan on. We can just hug and cry together. 6-1, eh? And it's only 6-1 because we scored a bloody out of nothing great goal. Player ratings is in the link in the video description if you want to get it. Don't forget you can still get your 10% off with Sneak Energy. Use the code SneakBridge. This is probably one of the worst games of football. I mean, it was over in the first 5 minutes, wasn't it? You knew what was coming. That's the hard thing. You knew this was coming. It was. It had it written all over that this was going to be a pounding, and so it's come to pass. 6-1. I wish we were playing Everton tomorrow. I tell you what, it's a horrible thing when you're a manager, sat watching that as well. Nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. Just got to face up to it, haven't you? God, I mean, one thing I would say is it's not a bad time to be a player who's been sat on the bench. I do look. I really do like Eriksen. I think he's one of the most likeable players in football. But I'm telling you now, he's getting a 2 from me. I think he's been absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Is this booked, Bruno? For descent. Look at the speed of Haaland. Look at how quick he just gets away from Martinez there. Mark, look at the bright side. Lots of lessons for Ten Hag to improve. If we lost 1-0, he wouldn't have learned as much as this. Reza, that's one way of looking at it. Alfie, love Mark and this club, but losing the Manchester derby is crushing, says Alfie. For the first time in years, I'm turning this dribble off. I cannot watch anymore, says Lee. I actually do not blame you, mate. I genuinely do not blame you. It's disgusting. It's not even 4 o'clock on a Sunday and the weekend's over. I do genuinely feel quite stunned. I didn't captain Haaland as well. I captained Jesus. I was like, oh, you know, he won't. I don't think he'll do it. I mean, basically, my FPL's shit anyway. I'm rubbish at it. We're so defensively feeble, it's a joke. We need to take Eriksen out and try Wan-Bissaka at CDM. No, that's a stupid idea, Haywood, I think. This match is so entertaining when listening to Mark G and his satire. Win the next 4 and Ten Hag will win Manager of the Month again, says Keith D. Thanks, Keith. Welcome to Members Club, Alfie. Absolutely terrible, but are you ready for the Erik Ten Hag isn't the man and Maguire needs to come back in bullshit, says Daniel. Well, bring Maguire back in. We still would have lost 6-1. I really don't care. If the manager thinks that Maguire and Shaw and Lindelof and McTominay are the answer, let's go and do it. I've watched that for 2 years. It's not the answer. So, if we want to keep making the same mistakes, that's absolutely fine. Harry Maguire would make no difference in a game like this. If I'm Harry Maguire, I'm sat watching this saying, thank God for that injury. Because he would have been as bad as anybody. What would Harry Maguire bring to this game? Have they whipped loads of crosses into the box? No. Have they moved the ball quickly around us on the ground? Yes. Is that going to help Maguire? No. It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have made any difference. There's no player we could have started today. Ronaldo, Maguire, Luke Shaw. It wouldn't have made any difference. We would have lost this game because the mentality and attitude coming into this game was a shambles. Man United's only saving grace is Alex out of retirement, says Mo. I want Erik Ten Hag to do well, but my gosh, you have Ronaldo and Casemiro and don't start neither of them, says Clayton. I'm getting so used to these batterings now, it's sad, says Aaron. This squad has proven multiple times that they have this kind of performance in them. Yep. Memories of Brentford, says Mikael Roach. How do we learn from this? I don't know what we can do. We have the manager we want right now, but the players on the pitch. Well, manager's got to take some responsibility. you know, he's got a lot wrong today. It's crazy how much effort United players have to put in just to pass and counter. We've got another goal, though. It's Anthony Martial, makes it 6-2. It's a consolation. I ain't celebrating it. Mark, in hindsight, would you have started Ronaldo, given how unfit Rashford was, says Nickit? Luke Shaw into Fred. Fred got the shot off and Martial makes it 6-2. I hope the Premier League Chiefs enjoy this after ruining the credibility of the league. This was exactly like a pre-season game, says Mike. We shouldn't have listened to Ranić and got a Kanji, says... we should have listened to Ranić and got a Kanji, says Cam. If Maguire played, we would have conceded more, says AM. And they're still trying. Heads haven't fallen all the way, says DK. And can't keep pretending Championship players like McTominay are good because they are likeable. Ralph was right, says Aidan. Yeah, but Ralph liked McTominay. Did he not? 6-2 is the score. I don't know why it's not changed it on there, but it is 6-2. It was given. 5 minutes to go. Remember, you can do your player ratings on theunitedstand.com or go through the link in the description. Still time for City to get another one here. And they nearly did. Thanks everyone who subscribed, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do it. We're really close to 492,000. Get involved with the United Stand. Bottom right-hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. It's going to be a very interesting reaction to this. We've got the fan forum and the match reaction afterwards. Man City have got a corner here. I didn't know if you ever noticed, whenever October month starts, United ship tends to go down, says Brushel. And Mohammed says, you're right about no one else making the difference, but Maguire as captain had played, you would be blaming him for everything as always. Oh, Mohammed, you know what that's for? Swivel on it. I don't know why you're talking about him. I've not mentioned him all game. So I don't know why you're talking about him. Maybe you need to go and get one of his posters out and enjoy yourself. Not playing as a team for a straight month and diving straight to play City definitely didn't help. The momentum and focus we had before the break was definitely needed for this game, says Shan. I mean, you're right to a certain point, Shan, but have Man City not just had an international break as well? I don't think not playing for a month is really an excuse for... I'd expect that to hurt you more in the last 20 minutes, not in the first 20 minutes. Like, we just didn't bother turning up. We weren't switched on. We didn't look interested. We were like a rabbit in the headlights. Pep beat Ten Hag. City set up to stop the counter. It was non-existent today, says Ricky. Watching Sir Alex sat there, who built this club to being the biggest, is just a sad sight, says Daniel. And as a Liverpool supporter, it shows how far my team has dropped, considering you got a win out of us recently and yet City beat you like this, says Chris. Yeah, well, you've got Arsenal next week. You know, you could be on the end of something like this as well. You know. Couldn't have gone any worse, could it? Could not have gone any worse. Ben Ryan's been a member for 30 months. Midfield wins games. Unfortunately, Ten Hag was naive, says Aidan. I mean, I'm really surprised that Christian Eriksen's played 90 minutes. I know people will get on at McTominay, but I think you've got to be honest and fair. And you know, people like Delo have had loads of praise, crap today. Eriksen's had loads of praise, crap today. You know, we said Sancho should have been in the England squad. Crap today. We were excited that Rashford was fit. Crap today. So, yeah, obviously McTominay played crap as well, but I think it's a bit unfair to just continually just go for the same targets. I think there's a lot of players. You don't get beat 6-2 and have one or two bad players. Like, to get humiliated like that, it's got to be all the team. So, yeah, you've got to take it on the chin. Unfortunately. Monica, thank you very much for joining the members club. Yeah, we'll go straight into the match reaction after this. We'll go through the player ratings, which I think are going to be mildly humorous because I've got no idea how you lot will vote. Biggest wage bill equals biggest balls up, says Paul. I want to talk about that as well. Well, Ten Hag said he had a game plan, didn't he? And he did. And it was terrible. Reminds me of the game plan that we had against Liverpool last season, actually, at Old Trafford, where we tried to press them and just left the midfield. Casemiro with a good shot into Anthony. Another shot. Ten Hag should be responsible. Congratulations for ending the career of the greatest footballer ever, you bold ego. Waiting for your sack and inform Ronaldo would have helped us. I've got a penalty, have we? Oh, got a penalty. We could make it 6-3. We're coming back. Penalty to Manchester United, is it? Or is it a free kick? I think it might be a penalty. It's a penalty. We've got a penalty here. We'll come back. Come back, Kings. It's going to happen. At this point, I'm just tired. Let the insults come. Who even cares at this point, says Deathy. It seems stupid to people who are not into football, but it does genuinely affect your mental health, says Jake. Oh, no, I agree. Not referring to McTominay when I say midfield. We need two holders, says Aidan. So we could make this 6-3 here. Do you still think Erik Ten Hag is the right manager? Lovely penalty by Ten Hag. I do think Ten Hag is the right manager, Daniel Kirk. I think we shouldn't have gone 4-3-3. Our wingers never got the ball much. 4-2-2 would have been better, says Risa. Lovely penalty by Martial, by the way. That's how I take him. Putting him in the top corner. 6-3. 9-goal thriller. No. It's not been a 9-goal thriller at all. We've managed to pick off a few goals against the Man City side that's been playing in second gear all half. It's a lovely penalty. Luke, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you. You'll note my distinct lack of excitement to the fact that we've scored 3 goals because we've been absolutely humiliated. I'm just grateful that Man City didn't decide to keep the tempo up. Jordan has just messaged me with the contender for the worst tweet of the year. If you want to check it out, at Jordan Valleys on Twitter, Martinez pockets Haaland on Sunday, 15 hours ago. Give him some love. Well, at least Martial's managed to get a couple of goals, hasn't he? We've won the second half, says Robert McCormack. Yes, we have won the second half. I'm going to tweet that, Robert, with no shame. And that was the real quiz. We've won the second half, and that was the real quiz. It was about the second half, really. Do people still think Ronaldo is in his 20s? He's 37. He's not making much difference on that pitch today, says Citizen. It's not really about that. It's the humiliation of watching a team get humiliated and still not getting on the pitch. It's a power thing. I don't agree with it. How much do you agree that football is just a game at the end of the day, says Mick? No, it impacts me too much for it just to be a game. I disagree. The game is over. Man City have won. Football is just a game, but if it was just a game, then why does it make you feel so sick? Why does it dictate your mood? Why does it ruin your weekends? Like football, if you love football, it's more than just a game, isn't it? Look how different the team plays with the number 9 that holds the ball up, says skydiving. I'm not taking anything out of that. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't take anything from Martial's performance. Man City had given up. There's still... And it's got another super chat. Lads, lost the first half 4-0, but you won the second 2-3, says ESC Connor. Yep, look, it's been a very interesting game. We're going to go into the match reaction and do the player ratings straight away. I will see you over there in about a minute or two. I'm just going to end this stream and it should push you over there. Thanks everyone who subscribed, by the way. We're getting really close to 1.5 million, but we also got stuffed. I'll see you over there in a minute.